Hello everyone, good morning, and it's a juggle command, so I guess we're gonna do that. God damn it, D'Souza. I think Souza wrote that one. Anyway, hi everyone, how's it going? Hope your morning's going well. I have a wedding rehearsal to go to later in the day, so we're doing an early morning stream, which is weird for me, but I hope you're all good. Have your coffee or your chalky milks or your pancakes or whatever people do in the morning. I wouldn't know. So, how's it going, everyone? We're gonna be looking at meme stock stuff today, so it should be good. They are still, in fact, still doing this. So, I guess so are we. Cool. Hydrate, can do, and then we'll get started. Overthought says, afternoon Hannah to kill the last few hours of work. Woo! Where are you in the world? That's interesting. History Chick 96, thanks for 40 months. Much appreciated. Annie Kai, thank you for 39 months. And I think we're all caught up. If you could on YouTube, do me a favor, like the stream. Helps a lot. Comment, chat, all that stuff. Tomorrow's the last day of costume day. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's the wedding that I'm going to. But the day after that, Monday, will be the final day of costume day. We are over 3/4 of the way to the next one. So maybe I'll get a few days or a week or so of, like, no costume or whatever. But as of right now, that's what we're at. One more day of costume day. And then I'll be free for a bit until we hit 3rd costume month. So, that's cool. If you want to support the stream, bits, super chats, membership, subscriptions always help. Like this lovely subscription continuation from Western9. 3 months in advance. Wow, thank you. You're very confident in my ability to be alive in 3 months. That was kind of a macabre joke. No, I'm good. Western9, thanks for 16 months. It's 11 a.m. here. Did Moas happen? Not yet. Not yet. I've heard it's any day now. I've heard it's any day now. Anyway, so let's get into it. Boop. Turn this music off. And we'll start with the AMC kid. Let's see how he's doing. He's putting some trust in AI, I think, here.
AI is predicting a massive move for AMC and GameStop. Ryan Cohen had something to say about—
Hasn't it been any day now for nearly a year? It's been any day now since 2021 for the GME people. For the Bed Bath & Beyond people, we're coming up on a 1-year anniversary of their stock being canceled. September 29th, I believe. So a little over a month away from a year since Bed Bath & Beyond stock was officially canceled. And they still are doing this. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub to Jay's Proxy. Much appreciated. Almost on a hype train.
About short sellers, and GameStop released an official announcement today. I really do believe AMC and GameStop stock are setting up for an explosive move. But before I do get into why I believe that, make sure to go down and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because I do update you guys.
Riotous Bunny Queen, thank you for 34 months and kicking off a hype train. Much appreciated.
On AMC and GameStop stock every single day. So this is what AMC stock looked like today.
Nemesaur gives 20 tier 1 subs, immediately kicking the hype train in the head like a mule. Thank you so much. 18% to level 6 on the hype train suddenly. That's incredible. Thank you, Nemesaur.
Pretty weird was barcoding throughout the whole day, and over 9 million shares were traded today. This is not
It's
normal
volatile,
price action
but it actually only ended 1 penny up, so it's basically trading sideways
whatsoever. The buying volume outweighs the selling volume like crazy, and it's been like this ever since AMC jumped up to $13.
Planums, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Apparently it's a gift sub day. Thank you muchly. That's a lot of people that aren't going to have to watch ads on my channel now, which is great because ads are just the worst.
Now over 3 months ago. So ever since AMC did make this massive move back on May 13th and May 14th, it's been in this accumulation phase. It's been straight up going flat. Today, it literally just traded flat throughout the whole day, even though over 9 million shares were traded. We still managed to close green today by 1 penny, and yet again, AMC has closed above the 200 MA. So this is looking extremely interesting, and none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold, but I still do believe AMC and GameStop are setting up for the third run. Now, GameStop today did close at $22.53, up 2.5%. It did have a low volume day, only 5 million shares traded, but it might have already hit the low because the past 2 days it was around 3 to 4 million shares traded, so it's picking up a little. It could have been bumped up to
I don't care about him looking at the chart. When he talks about AI, it gets a little telling. Oh, before that, though, he's going to talk about Roaring Kitty.
It's 1 million.
Are we billionaires yet? In our hearts.
Million subscribers. So Roaring Kitty is still only 5,000 subscribers away from reaching 1 million subscribers. I mean, guys, come on. Go grab your freaking mom's phone. Go grab your brother's phone. Go grab any freaking member of your family's phone. Go grab an iPad and subscribe to Roaring Kitty.
I think that's kind of odd behavior. I don't think you normally want to go and subscribe to people's channels on behalf of people on other people's YouTubes. That's strange. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't take other people's phones and do things with them. What are you doing? Why?
I know we could get him to 1 million subscribers if we really wanted to. But GameStop did come out with an official announcement.
Oh god, this one's... He's gonna interpret this joke about anal to be insider information about the stock, which is normally how I take references to anal.
Today, they posted this at market close 4 minutes before the market closed. So GameStop said, "Attention customers, we regret to inform you that GameStop is currently investigating an incident at store number 1261 where a lightsaber has been found with an unauthorized sticker. It seems someone has mischievously decided to label our Darth Vader mini lightsaber for use far beyond galactic battles. While we appreciate enthusiasm about our products, let's be clear. Lightsabers are designed for epic duels and imaginative adventures, not for any other creative uses suggested by unapproved labeling. Rest assured, we're on it, ensuring that all lightsabers stay free from misleading disclaimers. We're committed to maintaining the integrity of our products and the safety of our customers. If you have any information regarding the customer who took the use the force a bit too far, please reach out to GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen."
I mean, you can't... It's not because I'm classy, Generty. It's because you can't turn a dirty joke into a dirtier joke. That doesn't work. It's not funny. They already made a joke about being anally penetrated with a lightsaber, which is, about the ceiling of crudeness for a joke that you can go and it still be funny in specific contexts. This one's a little weird. 45 seconds left on the hype train. So if I try and go dirty from there, it's only going to be a de-escalation, and that's not funny. Or you got to go even harder with it, and the only way to go harder than, being rectally penetrated with the lightsaber is to get into, gross stuff, which isn't funny. It's just crude to the point of, edgy. So you got to go the other way with it. You got to basically ignore how dirty it is. There's your comedy tip for the day. If you're ever trying to be funny, you can only escalate so far into dirtiness before it just makes you look like an asshole. Something I learned the hard way. Don Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. And getting us... Wow, you saved the hype train. You got over level 6. Holy crap.
May the force and common sense be with us all. Sincerely, the GameStop legal team. And then they added this picture of the lightsabers. So there was a sticker placed.
There's a sticker that says for rectal use only.
It's on this lightsaber.
Getting penetrated with 2 lightsabers. The aristocrats. We did it.
Rectal use only. Basically saying it's a frickin' dildo that's gonna screw some hedgies. And
is that what they meant? Did they mean were they not just making a crude anal sex joke and instead were making a joke about fucking hedge funds? I don't know if I'd get that. That's a bit of a stretch. A lot like your asshole after you use this lightsaber. There we go. Got one in. Just like the lightsaber. Ooh, there's 2.
In the ass. That's basically what they're freaking saying. Now, I don't know if this is actually a serious announcement or they're just hinting to us like, hey, hedgies are about to get screwed. Let me know what you guys think At this point, I don't know what the frick is going on. Ryan Cohen changing his freaking gender on X. Now we got...
Yeah, for those that didn't see, Ryan Cohen's gone full right-wing Trump supporter. So he posted like Trump, 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 Trump like 200 times. And then he also is he discovered the one joke, and he changed his picture on Twitter to basically a face-apt girl version of himself, and he added she, her pronouns to his Twitter as a joke. And of course, these people have taken this all to be secret signaling that Moas is near, not just that he's a right-wing shit poster. Will Kale, thanks for a 75 stream streak, says no other creative uses. This reminds me of a time where people getting creative with those Harry Potter brooms. Oh yeah, those got recalled. I remember. The magical vibrating brooms. Chat, what do you do with brooms if it's a magical witch context? You ride on them between your legs. They made a vibrating broom toy. They got recalled quite quickly.
We got this coming out. I mean, it's just weird what the hell's going on. I want some answers, and I know you guys do too. So Pulte, a big-time AMC and GameStop stock investor, said GameStop chairman Ryan Cohen on short sellers. He did post this today, about 30 minutes after that last GameStop post was made. So Ryan Cohen said, I think it's un-American to bet on and to profit on someone else's failure. It's one thing not to invest in someone's success. It's another thing to profit on someone's failure. And
that's wild to me as a statement. This comes from Ryan Cohen's deposition, by the way, in a lawsuit he's currently involved in. I would like to cover this, but I don't have the time today, so hopefully we'll be able to cover that deposition in a future meme stock stream. But this particular segment where he's saying it's not right to profit off someone else's failure is such a weird thing for a capitalist CEO to say when so much of capitalism is based on profiting off other people's failures or hardship. That is demonstrably part of the system. So it's very strange that when he believes he's being targeted and people are looking at GameStop stock as a bubble and they bet against it, all of a sudden that's not okay. Seems pretty ridiculous, especially since he's a CEO that cut benefits, cut hours, cut employees from stores, shut down tons of stores. He himself is doing this. It's just that he doesn't care and doesn't think about his individual workers as people's in the marketplace. They're just his employees, and well, they're an expenditure, and he's gonna cut them and cut their benefits. Ridiculous. He's an asshole. Trey says, there's nothing more American than profiting off failures of others. Just look at the aftermath of World War II. Yeah. Also, short selling is, like, not a bad thing. If you're going to have a market, short selling can help mediate bubbles. Not always, it doesn't do the job perfectly, but it can help balance out prices when they're spiking like crazy. People can look at things, they can find fraud, or just see that there's a bubble and go, this isn't good, we need to temper this, and I can make a profit off it on the same time. Thus you have short selling. Again, if you're gonna have a market where thing goes up, you need people to be able to look at things and have incentives to call out fraud or bubbles. Kind of an important mechanism, but whatever.
I think it's un-American and it's legal and they're entitled to it, but I don't like them. So Ryan Cohen had this to say about short sellers. I don't know when he said this. You guys let me know when he said this, but Pulte just posted
Parasite is good. That's a good movie.
This today. So pretty interesting, you know, Ryan Cohen speaking out about freaking short sellers. Now this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. So Grok is an AI for X, also known as Twitter, and
I'm begging people to stop thinking AI has insight. It is literally by its own design incapable of insight. That's not what it's doing. It's basically a predictive text generator, just an incredibly complex one.
And it just came out with this article, you know, AI generated 28 minutes ago it was updated. Let's go ahead and read this article. So it says AMC stock closes above 200-day moving average. AMC stock experienced minimal price movement, closing above the 200-day moving average and showing signs of potential future volatility as indicated by tightening.
Oh, thank you for that hype train, everyone, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say when it ended. Much appreciated. Thank you for all the gift subs and support.
Bollinger Bands. Investors express mixed sentiments, with some frustrated by the lack of movement and some perceived manipulation, while others remained optimistic about the stock's potential for a significant price increase. The company's fundamentals, including its high debt and the perceived decline of the movie theater industry, were discussed, with some expressing skepticism about its long-term viability. However,
so all this bot can do is like read the sentiment of like Twitter users and then report on it? That's terrible. That's a terrible way to put together something that's supposed to be informative. All you're going to be told is what people on Twitter think. Or even if it is outside of Twitter, like reports on just what people are saying are incredibly misleading because often people are fucking wrong. This is why investigative journalism is important, to actually look at the facts and make judgments, not just look out the window onto the internet and say, what are people saying? Because I hate to say this, people in large groups are fools, including myself, all of us. People in large groups often come to specious conclusions, are often incorrect. You don't need to listen necessarily to the rabble of the crowd to find out what the true news is. You need to actually investigate. Ah!
However, others highlighted AMC's growth in global revenue and the potential for a short squeeze as reasons for optimism. The overall sentiment among investors was mixed, with some expressing frustration and skepticism, while others remained bullish on the stock's potential. So, you know, it covers both sides. We got the bears, we got the bulls. It goes over everything, the AI. But the first sentence that the AI decides to say is that AMC is showing signs of potential future volatility, as indicated by tightening Bollinger Bands. So we're seeing the pressure build up. Like I said, the OBV is at an all-time high. That means the buyers are outnumbering the sellers by a lot, guys. By a freaking lot, and it has not been reflected on the stock price yet. That is why I'm still confident in AMC. That is why I believe it is extremely undervalued.
They're dill pickle flavored chips. They smell delicious. Hydrate.
And that is why I believe we are on the verge of a huge move. This guy said no other stock like AMC has 8 million plus shares traded and closes matching its open. Make it make sense unless it's manipulation. So pretty weird data.
They always think that the price movement or lack thereof is crime. No matter what, it's always crime unless the number goes up. Then it's price discovery. Penikagami says, isn't it great how many people basically think they're playing a video game and others not like them are NPCs they can be dismissive of, but think a literal AI is insightful like it's a person? It's great when people who disagree with me are NPCs, think a program is more human than other people. I'm sure all of this is going to culminate in just nothing but good times. I'm sure that this is all great and fine and good.
Today, it actually ended above 9 million shares traded in the day, and we barely closed at $5.13, closed at $5.10.
It's good. Often pickled chips, the dill will be a little overwhelming. This one, it's not too bad. This is really good.
Cents after hours. So just the fact that we still close green on this strange day, it's pretty good to see, guys. It really is good to see. This guy said, I remember when the shorts had the power to dump our stock tens of % in one day.
Don't use Freddie Mercury for your propaganda.
Now they are struggling just to keep us red. They failed to bankrupt us. Hashtag AMC. So a bunch of shorts did bet that AMC is going to go bankrupt. And I bet that they were extremely disappointed when Adam Aaron came out and said that most of the debt is being moved to 2029. Extremely bullish for AMC, changes the fundamentals completely, and in my opinion, AMC is never going to go bankrupt. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did make it to the end of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you guys doing? Make sure to go down and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about what Ryan Cohen had to say about the short sellers, but just the fact that
what if it's propaganda related to Flash Gordon? That's acceptable.
We have a
Flash! Ah, he saved every one of us!
I, predicting future volatility, it says something. It says freaking something. When I do get my next check from YouTube, I believe it's like in about a week, I'm going to put every penny into AMC stock. My goal is to try to get to 4,000 shares.
I feel so bad for this kid. This kid's like 19, 20 years old. All the money that he could be using this money for anything. Saving to get an apartment or something, because I think he lives with his parents, and there's nothing wrong with living at your parents at this age. But one of the benefits of doing that is that you can save money for your future, and he's not doing that. He's just throwing it into AMC stock. He's effectively idling in life because he just made the whole focus of his life so far this. He still has so much time to correct, and I hope he does. I really do. I hope eventually he learns a lesson and gets out of this, but he already lost his job because of this, because he wouldn't stop looking at game or AMC stock stuff at work, and they kept asking him not to, because he works at a bank and he was using their official computers to look at things he wasn't supposed to. This sucks. This sucks a lot. Okay, let's see how Rantz is doing. We need another Flash Gordon. Like, I have the 2000s Flash Gordon around here somewhere. I don't know where, though. Is Buck Rogers close enough? It's not Flash Gordon, but it definitely feels a little inspired. Does Buck Rogers count? We'll count that. Let's see. What one did I want to...
Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to Rantz. Rantz, plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I'm going to slow down on this video because I want to go over something very important with you. Last night, I made a video, and the video I made was about tangible book value, meaning a company, minus their goodwill, minus other intangible assets, what is a company actually worth? If you were...
He's basically talking about a company's assets minus its liabilities. What is it worth, like in pure terms, per individual issued stock? So he's basically trying to say, and he's been making the argument lately, that profits don't matter. What matters is how much the assets of your company are worth if it was destroyed and stripped apart, which is basically what book value is for. So I don't know why he's making this argument. I assume only because he has to, because there's nothing else. All GameStop has currently is the cash that they have. They don't have profitability. They don't have forward guidance. So I assume that's why he's focusing on the one thing they do have.
If you were to liquidate a company today, they file for bankruptcy and you have to liquidate. That's their tangible book value. GameStop is currently $10 a share on tangible book value, which is one of the best values according to their current share price of any company out there. I actually compared...
So basically, they have a lot of cash on hand that they're doing nothing with. Okay.
...them to the Mag 7 stocks, just how great it is. Almost 50% tangible book, which is great. And you guys are learning, and that's awesome. But I want to focus...
Hey, Corax.
...on a comment on the video. The comment on the video on this video, this is last night's video. If you look right here, let me see if I can make it bigger for you guys. It says right here, what about profit margin and growth? Can we assume GameStop can transform into a company with tech company margins? You know, this is a difficult question to answer for a couple of different reasons. Everyone's judging GameStop based off of, you know, previous top-line revenue numbers. And then... I
hate the top-line revenue thing he does.
Everyone will talk to you about...
It's revenue. It's revenue, Rantz. There is no such thing as bottom-line revenue. That's not how this works.
Margin, and then, of course, profit from an operational standpoint. GameStop currently doesn't make a profit operationally. They make a profit via investments because they're a holding company and they have a large amount of cash.
They're not a holding company. They are explicitly a brick and mortar video game store with a small online footprint. That's it. Oh my god. Just because they're putting money into T-bills doesn't make them a fucking holding company. I'm so tired. He's trying to manifest this into the world. It will be Berkshire Hathaway. It will be Berkshire Hathaway. It's a game pawn shop.
They have over $4 billion cash.
Okay, what are they doing with it? What are they doing with it? Do something. Do anything.
That's generating interest over time. Here's the thing about GameStop, what people don't remember and or don't really understand. There's a phrase in commercial real estate called overstored, and that's based off the fact that your company has too much square footage. You are opening new buildings left and right. Not that you need to expand to that much. You know, you become profitable,
right?
yes,
if they're a
but at a fault.
Says, LOL, a holding company. If that was the case, just sell all the store assets, right? If you're saying this is a holding company and the game business is irrelevant, they should shut down the game business then. Right? Because all it's doing is dragging. What's all that expense for? Doesn't make sense, does it?
They cost you something. And when you have a downturn in the economy like you do right now, it costs you your company. You'll lose half your footprint because you'll have to close down stores. You'll have to, lay off employees, make all the necessary cuts to become profitable again. In GameStop's case, it was actually built out from 2010 to 2013, that time frame, all the way to 2018 to be overstored. They just kept opening up stores, and it felt like the more you spend, the more money you'll make eventually, but that top line revenue just keeps growing, and that's what you show Wall Street. But anyone on the other side of the bet, i.e. shorting the stock and or studying the balance sheet and the income statement, if you really study it, you realize that GameStop was spending too much money to make their money.
Caradona says GameStop is shrinking, Rantz. Their business model no longer works. What if we had more Funko Pops? Will that work?
And at some point, it tips over, right? You just can't keep growing. You actually tip over. So I'm going to show it to you right now and why we're talking about this, okay?
Overthought says they really are in an abusive relationship with this stock. You don't know this company like I do. They love the stockholders. Believe me. It came off as a little trope. You just don't know the company like I do. They love the stockholders. Believe me.
There's a whole reason why. So let's go look at the macro trend first. So macro trend for GameStop, just so that we're clear, their gross profit back in the day, this is long time ago, 2019 I have here, but we're going to go even further. We're going to go one more year. So we'll go right here. So this is the time right here in 2019 at the end.
So funny to me that his view of business is short-sighted enough that 5 years ago was a long time ago. I can still remember. No.
End of 2018 and 2019.
Don't have the
GameStop
time for that one. We'll be here all day.
Had $3 billion worth of operating, right? And they actually were losing money because operating income was $700 million loss. And they kept losing money, and we know what happened next. You know, Ryan Cohen comes in and he changes the idea and trend that, hey, we need to stop losing money. But top line revenue was so massive.
Revenue.
It's what everyone's paying attention to. They go, 8.2 billion from 9 billion, 8.2 billion, all this. And they're going to tell you Fortnite effect. They're going to tell you PS5, supply chain shortage issues. They're going to tell you all of that. And I'm just going to...
The Fortnite effect? Do you mean people buying games digitally? Rantz. The bottom line on GameStop is their business model is outdated. If they continue to primarily exist in the public consciousness as they do as a company that is a video game pawn shop, they are going to continue to shrink. Because people do not buy games physically as often as they used to. 80% of game sales, last I checked, are now digital. That number is only going to go up. I am a person who likes physical media. Look at all my goddamn movies. Trust me, I like physical media. But I am able to separate my own personal enjoyment from the sentiment of the market. By and large, people are more interested in convenience than they are owning a physical good like this. And you're free to disagree. I am. like I said, I own tons of physical media. That doesn't change the fact that I am outside of the norm of what most people prefer. People younger than me in particular, who've only known digital gaming, have no reason to have any sentimentality towards a physical game, right? I'm 30, you know? Like, people younger than me, I remember when digital games became a thing, and it was convenient. But people younger than me don't even remember when they did have physical games. So the market for that is shrinking. They're not trying to sell you FUD. They're telling you the reality of the market you're buying into. Noisy Korak says, Rantz misstating financial terms is the classic example of an idiot trying to prove he's so smart but only making himself look dumber. I think he made a mistake at some point and he's just tripling down. Like, he just can't admit he fucked up in that Skrelly conversation. So, like, he's demanding he always use it now. Like, they're not wrong. Or, I'm not wrong, everyone else is wrong. Finikagami says, didn't companies, especially publicly traded ones, have to file government paperwork to declare the nature of their businesses? And don't they have to file if it changes? Like, Fox did that to change themselves from news to news entertainment. So GameStop would have to do that to become a holding company or whatever else these guys think up. They can't do it stealthy-like, and that shit costs money. Yeah, there are different regulations for different kinds of businesses. Like, if you were to become a bank, for instance, like, I think for a while they thought Bed Bath & Beyond or Teddy was going to be a bank, and they were talking about different kinds of business filings, because they're different for financial institutions versus a brick-and-mortar business. So that'd be its own issue.
I can tell you, it's just not the case. You know, it's not that everything's digital as well.
Most of it is digital. When's the last time I bought a physical game? I don't know, it's been years. It's been years. It's been years and years since I bought a physical game. And again, y'all know how obsessed with physical media I am. Games are just different to me. They need updates and downloads constantly anyway, so even if you get the physical disc, you basically need most of it to be digital. Just, I don't know. Doesn't matter, man.
That's just what shorts want to put out in front of you. Michael Packer, other analysts.
It's the reality of the market!
Because
I so badly want to ask Rantz, what's your favorite 10 video games? Because I feel like he's only ever mentioned League of Legends. Like, does he play games? Does he have any idea what modern gaming is like?
Video games only make up around 30% of GameStop's actual revenue.
And that's bad for them. That's why they're doing worse than they were back in, like, 2008, when digital games weren't as big of a thing, and more of their revenue was made up of used games. Thus the problem.
They sell computer components, they sell consoles, they sell accessories, headphones, and controllers. Those are things you sell the most of, more so than just games.
You know who else sells those things? Minus computer components, although you can get that stuff at, like, Best Buy. Walmart. You can go buy a controller at Walmart, or a Meijer, which is a store in Michigan, and regionally. I'm sure there's others around. You can get these things at stores other than GameStop.
And
you can also buy it on Amazon.
When you look at GameStop and you study it, you realize that the smaller the footprint gets, the more profitable they get. So the margins are swinging back into their favor. But the reasons why it was out of whack, why it swung so far for GameStop is because they were overstored. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys something so you guys understand and have the mindset of what and why it happened. And before I show you the board of directors and we go into this, I want to give you the premise of what we're talking about. I've been studying retail companies for the last 4 years. I am in retail at a senior level for the last, I don't know, over a decade, right? And
Also, shortly after this, Morantz's computer dies, which, like, that's a bummer. You know, I feel bad for that. Like, I don't like Rantz, I don't like what he does, but that sucks when the equipment you use for part of your work dies. I don't think he got his computer parts for his new computer at GameStop, because he's having stuff shipped in, and maybe it's being shipped from GameStop's website. It's possible. But he's talked about it, like, being late. And I'm wondering, you're such a big GameStop supporter, why didn't you buy the parts from GameStop? Whatever.
I realize that some decisions are made by certain individuals on the board of directors for certain companies, and some of those decisions don't make sense. Right? Like in 2018, I'll give you the example. GameStop loses $700 million, and they're still paying a dividend on their shares at that time. They've since suspended their dividend. They're not paying it right now, but they will eventually. But just like any company that
Fun fact, pretty sure you need to be profitable to pay a dividend.
Sees the forest through the trees, say, hold on, we should cut this off. But they didn't then. And it was because they were trying to deplete the coffers. And I'm telling you,
Penekagami says it also doesn't help that thanks to how licensing on consoles works, there's really no difference between physical or digital anymore. If the company wants to hold your shit hostage, they can. Physical games' only advantage is the ability to pass it around. Yeah, and I still like physical for, like, retro games or classic games. Like, I have a Wii, and, like, Baja and I play, like, Mario Party 6 and stuff, and Mario Kart Double Dash. Like, if you want old games, you gotta go find them, but GameStop doesn't even sell that stuff. I have to go to a local game place that sells, like, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PS1 even, GameCube games, Wii games. So, like, stuff like that isn't even at GameStop. I don't know.
this because I've studied the board of directors for multiple companies and how the same individuals get the same jobs at new companies that end up going bankrupt, right? A la Sue Gove, Thomas Kingsbury. There's numerous people.
Yeah, people move around in the same positions or similar positions between companies, correct?
Out there in the CEO roles that have voted for things that you would never vote for, right? So to give you this example, I can tell you Bed Bath & Beyond, Kohl's, Big Lots, all of it, you can follow the same investment companies and the same hedge funds that actually plant their people on the board of directors, and then they make poor decisions for the company. And that's what's been happening. That's how companies go bankrupt. Just bad decision making from the top. So
I agree that bad decision making had a part in, like, hastening the end of companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, and I don't know the situation at Kohl's. I haven't shopped at Kohl's in years, and I haven't looked at anything regarding them, but I imagine they're not doing well. Bed Bath & Beyond was a combination of factors, including the market shifting, overpriced goods, and the stock buybacks they did at just the absolute worst time, all culminated in this. You could, in theory, be a pretty good executive at a company, and the company could still go under if market sentiment is just so bad towards your company, or the market shifts so much that there's just not much you can do. Sometimes you can slow the bleeding, and in fact, Bed Bath & Beyond, I think, hastened it with bad decision-making. But I don't think with better management you'd still have Bed Bath & Beyond by, like, 2030, even if they hadn't done the stock buybacks, right? It's just not a business that makes sense in this day and age.
That's what was happening at GameStop for the longest time until Ryan Cohen came in and took over. But let's go ahead and look at the board of directors. And this is what I call Connect the Dots. You guys know the series. This is part 75 right here. But let's go ahead and look at it. This is the board. These are the board of directors for GameStop in 2018 at the end of it. The reason why, because their CEO, Mr. Paul Raines, he actually died. He died of brain cancer, but even he wasn't necessarily on the up and up because he was from JCPenney, he was from Advanced Auto Parts, he's from Home Depot. He had the still the same ties that I've seen from private equity. And if you ever don't believe me, guys, go look at Home Depot's balance sheet right now. They have shareholder equity of almost nothing, zero almost.
I would imagine Home Depot's probably profitable, though. I don't know that. But at least they sell stuff people need to go physically get that day often. You know what I mean?
They have no shareholder equity, I would say. I think it's something like less than a penny per share because they're stretched out on debt. That's just what it is. That's what happens. But let's go ahead and look at this, okay? I'm just going to go with you here. So the first guy, I'm looking at Jerome Davis, and I'll just do the first guy, Daniel DiMato, whatever his name is. He came back to the company after retiring because Mr. Raines died. So when Mr. Raines passed, this guy came through back too, and he was the interim CEO at age 70. One of the original guys for GameStop, so he's on the up and up. But Jerome Davis, I don't know why he would ever be at this company called GameStop. He has no experience in retail, and they put him on the board of directors here. But I didn't want to follow him too much because I'm looking at people like Thomas Kelly. When you see Scott's Miracle Grow Company here, they tell you, I've seen it, but I've seen Sprint Nextel deal. So the Sprint Nextel deal was a deal that GameStop did for whatever reason. They wanted to go ahead and get into Sprint and Nextel. So when you go into Sprint and Nextel and you look at this company, remember that they were the majority, right here, the majority of the company was purchased by SoftBank Group. We talked about SoftBank Group just this week on one of the live streams.
Is Morantz's entire conspiratorial thing about this stuff just him being flabbergasted that private equity is involved in tons of companies? It feels like that's his whole conspiracy theory, is just like, did you know that capitalism has a lot of private equity firms that involve themselves in various entrepreneurial pursuits through different companies? Like, yes? That's not a conspiracy. Do you just not like the system? That's fine if you don't, but like, that's not a conspiracy? I'm very confused.
Because they're the ones who are embedded at DraftKings via private equity. They have so many ties to private equity. If you go look at that episode that we did this week about DraftKings, you'll see. But that was in the live stream. But yes, there's SoftBank. So that's where Nextel came from. So you already have private equity doing deals with GameStop, and Thomas Kelly is part of that. I would just tell you, that's what he's associated with. Mr. Kim ended up becoming CEO, if I'm not mistaken, even later on. But for me, I don't really care. It's not something I want to focus on. I want to focus on Stephen Koonin. Stephen Koonin, at the age of 60, is here, and he bridges from TNT and TBS, that's Turner Broadcast. Now, if you know anything about Turner Sports, you know about Atlanta Hawks, you know about the deal that they went ahead and sold off to private equity, Ares Capital and Tony Resler. So that's one.
Wow, he really is just going to list different business deals that these people have been a part of, as if it's like a nefarious... I did want to watch one more thing from Rantz today. Gotta find it. Something about... Warren Buffett. What a weird... This is a strange one.
Happened last week. So if you guys know, my computer... I don't know, I guess it got fried on me. It doesn't load on me. It's okay.
Mr. Duck Sauce, thanks for a 5-stream streak. Rule number 34 of acquisition.
A lot of love out of that computer for a long time. I'm going live on my phone for now until my new computer shows up. So once it does, then we'll go over the markets and everything. I have a theory about markets today, and I want to talk about them. First, let's go ahead and start out. No music, no fanfare, so I'll sing the song for you. Welcome back to Moran. No, I won't sing the song. A lot of you guys know I have a theme song. But it's been a really good day. Good day on the market. Good day for a lot of other people, and hopefully people are getting the notifications that I go live. I never know. I mean, it's public right now, and I don't see anybody here yet, so that's not normal for me. Usually everyone floods in, but it's cool. You know, I want to check something really quick. Well, there you go. Now here comes everybody. So appreciate you guys. I want to talk about something, okay? It's something that was like triggering my mind about markets and about what's going on with the economy and what happened last week. So if you guys are not familiar, I don't know, like I was watching market today, right? Like at the end, I got some messages from Jay. He sent me some tweets, and Jay goes, "Hey man, and thank you guys so much for showing up. I see all you guys. Thank you." But Jay's like, "Hey man, look at GameStop. It went crazy. Oh, look, now it updates." Here I am thinking no one's here, and then it says like 28, 30, 40, 50. It's cool. Thank you. So Jay's like, "Hey, the market is going crazy right now in the final 10 minutes. GameStop just went crazy." And it did right at the end. It exploded on the market, and it came up. So what was that? No, I don't know if it's Warren Buffett, but I'd like to dream. Tonight I want to dream just a little. Here.
I feel like calling what he's about to say just a little is really, really understating the insanity of what he's about to spew. Warren Buffett, for those that don't know, is one of the most successful investors of all time. His place is Berkshire Hathaway. I'm almost certain you've heard of them before. They were also the real estate agents on my fucking house. They're a quite large firm. And they're in all sorts of shit. They're just quite successful. Warren Buffett has been in and out the richest man in the world from time to time. Incredibly successful investor. And Rantz is going to explain why he thinks that he pulled all his money out of Apple, I think the largest market cap corporation on the planet, and put it into GameStop. Gitara says, "I feel like a total boomer saying this, but to me, physical copies of video games have always felt superior. Aside from having a physical collection I've built up over the years as a kid, not much beat going to a GameStop, buying the newest game, popping the game case open and taking in that new game smell, and reading the instruction manual on the way home while my mom ran errands. I think nostalgia clouds my preferences." I agree with you. I have that same nostalgic, stuff too. It's just that that's separate from what other people think, you know? It's okay, and there's nothing wrong with us liking physical media. I think it's a great thing. It's just fair to be able to look at that and go, okay, but most people don't feel that way, clearly, you know? But that's a great thing. It's good to enjoy stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with healthy nostalgia and healthy collecting, I say as I sit in front of thousands of Blu-rays.
Here's the deal. There's like this thing I have where I study companies and I think the best for them, right? And I think the best.
Yes, also Berkshire Hathaway is private equity, so private equity is evil unless it makes money, I guess. Or makes me money. True, Korax, true.
For GameStop right now. I really
If meme stock people didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards.
do. I think the business model matters. I think the balance sheet tells you everything about the company. I think they make a profit. I think they have the right leadership team. And the largest institution that's held Apple shares for the last, since 2016 was Berkshire Hathaway. And so that is essentially Warren Buffett. But, it's a whole group. It's a whole group investing there, and they're a parent company for multiple companies, whether it be Geico, See's Candies, Warren Buffett. There's other things, Apple. There's other things they're invested in and they own, right? And they operate. So they're a holding company and they're worth, I don't even know, $600,000 a share. But it's the greatest story ever told. It's Warren Buffett from the 60s, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up to now. And if you invested with him in the 60s when no one was trusting him.
No offense, but if you would ever describe any financial anything as the greatest story ever told, I fundamentally don't understand you as a person. The world of finance is not that. Please read any book, read anything, stop being obsessed with the acquisition of wealth. Oh my god.
Then you would be infinitely rich today. Well, the largest shareholder of Apple shares is Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen just happens to be a 30-something, very young guy. From
that very young? That's just like adult age. Like 20s is young. 30s is like, okay, you're just like an adult now. It's fine. Benikagami says, to be fair, both Google and Apple are currently being sued for antitrust violations by the FTC, and Google lost their case just recently, so, some people may start pulling out of Apple soon. Yeah, I don't know the reasons that Berkshire Hathaway or Warren Buffett pulled out of Apple. I imagine they have their reasons. Doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is Rantz for no reason thinking he's going to put that money into GameStop. That's weird to me.
From Canada, but he lives here in the States. He's living in Florida, and he invests his money into Apple, Alibaba, Nordstrom, obviously Bed Bath & Beyond at one point, and of course GameStop. But his identity is GameStop. It's the same idea of what Berkshire Hathaway was when they were a textile company. That's GameStop now. Like, GameStop is this legacy company, this video game store
That's their business! He's calling their business model the legacy business. That's just the business model.
People don't pay attention to. And yet here they are, sitting on more cash than anyone could imagine. You couldn't imagine your company being worth billions and billions of dollars per share. Yet everyone's looking at top line revenue declining. Everyone's looking at the sector itself of
revenue. Stop saying top line revenue. All revenue is top line by definition. The tautology. Knock it off.
Legacy gaming consoles and physical consoles and hardware and physical software. Like, it's a dying business model, as they would tell you. It's not going with the trend. But GameStop's a little
redundant. It's not a tautology. It's just redundant.
Different. GameStop has a core base of investors, which are retail investors, which are gamers, myself included. And then there's this idea that institutions are going to come piling in along with us. And I put out a tweet today, Larry Chang tweet, that shows you it's rare. And when it does happen, when institutions line up with retail investors and they form this magnificent, moment. And the retail investor is you. And the institutional investor could be, Warren Buffett. And here's why I'm going to talk about this, okay? Just so that we're clear. Warren Buffett, for the last 70 years, has seen the market, and he knows when it's going to pop, when it's not, when the bubble's coming, when to get involved, when not to get involved. He's passed up on some of the greatest deals out there. And he recently, as of last week, sold the majority of his Apple shares for Berkshire Hathaway. They got out of their position at the peak of what Apple is right now in this market. And that's like a great investment. If you guys don't know how big Apple got in 2016 to now, it's massive, right? It's all because of Berkshire Hathaway getting in and everyone following suit. But now that they're gone and the suckers are buying in, I tell you the suckers because the shorts are the suckers. The short hedge funds have to buy in on blue chip stocks. They have to pump them. That's their collateral. So they have to buy the top of the mountain, and so that it holds value, because when this thing gets reset, when this market actually coming down, you're going to reset indexes. You're going to reset your allotments. So the allotted stocks and percentages for the said indexes, you guys are going to see everybody sell off shares just to balance out the book, but those market caps are going to be attainable, and those companies are going to be attainable. Thank you for tacos, bro. $30 super chat. I'm forever thankful. You know that. And stay blessed, brother. Thank you so much, Meow Meow. It's been.
I'm sorry, I just enjoyed him saying meow meow.
Thank you so much, Meow Meow. Stay blessed, brother. Thank you so much, Meow Meow. It's been amazing to watch markets get reset, but think about it. Warren Buffett, the world's greatest investor that you've ever seen. Remember the trend, okay? This is not like a one-off. This is not Kathy Wood. This is not Bill Ackman. This is not Carl Icahn. This is Warren Buffett selling off.
Carl Icahn is quite successful in his own right. Gordon Gekko is based off of him. Jesus Christ.
The top tier blue chips.
Don't give people ooh-woo for free. That's a sample.
Stock. And the majority, the bulk of his position in that company. He sold it. He's gone. He's running for the mountains, and everyone else should too, because the tsunami's coming. So listen, if you don't believe it, don't believe it. That's fine. Or keep following day traders into the slaughter, because right now market makers are winning. They're playing the bottom and they're playing the top, and then they just mess with you all day long. So the way Warren Buffett is doing this.
Are you familiar with what hedge funds do? Like, playing both the highs and the lows of the market is what hedge funds do. That's the point, is they make a lot of bets and they try to diversify in order to offset losses on their bad bets with better gains from their good bets. Like, that's not nefarious. That's just the mechanism. Again, it seems like he doesn't like the market and he just doesn't know how to articulate that. He wants a market where the number only goes up and no one ever bets on the downside. Like, that's not how this works. I'm so confused.
Is he sold his Apple shares, and what's he going to buy? He's going to buy the whole damn market. He's going to buy everything, because everything's going to be available to him. So right now you're looking at companies that have large amounts of cash.
Amber says, it'll never stop being strange to me that these want to once-in-a-century market crash a la Black Tuesday, if not worse. They keep saying it, and it just baffles me that they think that would be good somehow. Like, rich people would probably be fine. It's an opportunity for them to snatch up, you know, assets at lower prices because normal people are getting fucked. Rantz is a normal guy, though, so it doesn't make sense to me either, because he would get fucked incredibly.
And they're waiting for this market to crumble. Because if they are investors, remember, GameStop has it written in their 10K and their 10Q, their recent 10Q and 10K, that they are going to be investing their money along the lines of GameStop, the personal insiders themselves, the chairman of the board, all of the board members, so they can actually align their wealth with GameStop's. And the craziest part that people don't get and people forget is, like, Ryan Cohen, he's one guy, right? But what if Warren Buffett just says, you know what, this is the new legacy. This guy has it right. Not only is he doing the job and working for free, and what if he actually had that meeting? What if he got the meeting? What if that's what Larry Chang is talking about institutional investors? Because there's got to be somebody on this side of this coin. There's got to be somebody in your favor, guys. Every spike.
Why? It feels like motivated reasoning. Why do you think there has to be some big rich guy on your side? The numbers don't show that. Nothing shows that.
Like I see, until they tell me different, it's Warren Buffett.
Based on no reason, I'm going to assume price increases are because one of the richest men on the planet believes in me. I'm a very serious investor. Please listen to me.
Every spike I see, it's someone worth talking about whenever you're talking about GameStop, because it can't just be you. It just can't be us that understand this damn balance sheet.
What if your understanding is bad?
And what's coming? You're not wrong. Hey, America, all of you that are invested into GameStop, the tens of thousands of people that are invested into GameStop that actually get to watch the content, understand what Ryan Cohen's doing, you are not wrong. You're 100% correct. Thank you so much. I just read the name. If you guys did not read that name for the 20 free memberships, thank you so much for the 20 free memberships. Just got back from vacation. Thank you, Carters. But somebody went out there and called me Big. Marantz is big. Marantz big. Oh, I'm not even going to read that, bro. That's so degrading. Thank you so much. But thank you. So, guys, just listen. You're not wrong, okay?
They named their channel or account Marantz's Big Dick.
The indicator for me is they gave you, like, remember I showed you all the indexes that are trading, and I go, hold on, the S&P 500 is an index, yes, but there's sectors within that index. And I show you, and I go, okay, this was topped out. This is why I wish I had my computer. I could be showing you right now. But I show, okay, this ETF is not tracking with the rest of the SPY. This ETF is not tracking with the rest of.
Oh, he still thinks GameStop's going to get added to the S&P 500 based on nothing.
Tech or semiconductor, real estate versus mining and mineral and metals and all of it, finance and regional banking. I told you, I showed you all these charts, and then I'm like, okay, this is not where it needs to be. So realize what's happening, okay, guys? There are some indicators out there, and the biggest indicator is when the smartest man, the best man, when he sells his shares, look what's coming.
Are you saying Ryan Cohen should sell his Apple shares? Because he's got a lot of money in Apple.
And there's only one company out here that's doing it the right way. I promise you, there's only one. Only one company that made all their cuts 2 years ago, that started getting towards this trend of being nimble and being profitable and understanding the environment you're in, but nobody wants to speak on it. Everybody is speaking back.
Why does Marantz act as though if we have a recession, GameStop will do well? Like, if we go into an actual recession, as in, like, the market or the GDP declining for 2 or 3 consecutive quarters, whatever it is, why does he think GameStop will be doing better or the same? It would be doing worse. They're barely functioning as it is, right? So if people have to tighten their belts further, why does he think recreation spending on things like GameStop is going to be doing good? It will do worse, and they'll have to cut even more stores. They had to cut stores when interest rates were fucking nothing. They had to cut stores when the market was doing quite well. So if things get worse, it's not like they're isolated from the market. They will also face a downturn and have to cut further. It's like he thinks they're a separate thing.
Backwards right now. And I'm talking about Wall Street. I'm talking about MSNBC, talking about mainstream media. They're all speaking backwards. Can I explain it to you? They all want to talk about profit. And they go, okay, you can't show me profit, then your company's not worth anything. And I said, bullshit. This is like playing Call of Duty. Okay, guys?
A serious investor.
And I said, bullshit. This is like playing Call of Duty.
Yes, exactly. Go on.
Okay, guys? And you're playing Team Deathmatch, right? Or Team Slayer, however you play it on Halo. But it's Team Deathmatch. And it's not about kills. It's about not getting killed.
No, it's about both. It's about both. Gipazoa says, yes, that's how companies work. Yes, to make a profit. I don't know how does he understand the economy? I'm a leftist and I understand the economy better than him. But Seriously, what the fuck is he doing?
That's the difference. How many times can I not die? Right? That's the trick to winning. That's the trick to surviving. Because there's a
He thinks that this is a contest to not go bankrupt when that's the bare minimum. That's not... It's good not to go bankrupt, but that doesn't make you successful. That's the bare minimum to be a functioning company. If you want value from your stock, you need to make a profit on top of that.
clock and it's ticking. The game's going to end. And when it ends and you haven't died enough, then guess what? You win because you have all this cash on hand.
He's really bad at Call of Duty too, isn't he? Trey says the Hedgies fuck up. They should have known not to fuck with gamers.
You're not burning the cash. Guys, go look at tech right now. Go look at Mag 7. They're all burning their cash. They're all trying to keep up with the Joneses for AI. It's all about rewarding the
Look, I think AI is overhyped. There are good uses for it, like in terms of doing smart searches through lots of information. Like, hey, find me sections that pertain to this thing in this document. Generative AI is a big dumpster fire of, like, VC money. But, these complicated algorithms can have uses. But by and large, the market's gone fucking crazy for these things. Over the top. So there is a correction, which is good, and they need to chill out. But by and large, spending money on R&D is a good thing. You want them to be doing that. That's not a bad thing. What are you talking about, Rantz? Spending money that you have on hand in order to generate future things is part of what you're supposed to do as a company. But he's talking about it like it's bad. Fennikagami says, I'm begging people to understand that competition requires losers. In fact, most people in a competition are losers. Capitalism is an economy of competition in which most people and companies get stepped on. I understand this when I was in early college and my grandmother didn't. Why is it so hard for people to understand? Because they want to be winners and they can't be losers.
Rewarding companies that are putting themselves into more debt. It makes zero sense to me. Oh, you spent $10 billion on AI? Then guess what? You're worth this much money. There's not a return on that investment.
Paladin Lost with 22 months says, this is still a thing? People are still trying to make GameStop anti-short a thing? Oh yeah, we're gonna watch some Bed Bath people in a little bit.
If you think that it's real, and you think that, oh, this is what it is, Apple's the greatest, okay, Warren Buffett just sold. Pay attention. Warren Buffett sold. He's sitting on cash right now, and he's like this. I know it's going to fall. I don't know when it's going to fall. I don't know if it's this week, next week, 2 months, 3 months from now. But when it does fall, you get to buy everything at the bottom. And there's a couple of choice people out there that have billions of dollars to spend. Ryan Cohen's one of them. Now, what's the relationship? I've studied Warren Buffett for a long time, guys. You guys know I studied Peter Lynch. You guys know I studied private
equity. Get it. Warren Buffett is a sexy, sexy man.
Equity. And when I watch Warren Buffett and Charlie
pull out that Forbes centerfold. Ooh.
Speak. And if you guys are not familiar why I study Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, all this, I'll speak on it this way. Charlie Munger, for X amount of years, was board of director at my employer. Okay? So I have a very acute view of why they pick the companies they pick and how they do it and what's the outcome. What's the result? So when you sell your shares of said companies and you sold Apple, you're telling the world, or you should be, this is not the environment that you want to invest in. This is not where you're at. And I know it. And I know it with all my heart. I know it's GameStop. I know people
talking about it like a religion.
Want to buy it. I know what they want to do. Imagine you got the interview. You got the interview of your lifetime. You're Ryan Cohen. You say, you know what? I have a business model, and it's PSA graded cards, and it's video game, legacy video game, whatever. And there's this following that the whole world knows, whether it be Roy and Kitty getting 1 million people to watch him on a live stream, or people investing like crazy for GameStop. Everybody's about GameStop, and you walk up and you go to Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, and you tell Warren Buffett, you say, listen, I know you're getting out of the investment game. I know you're retiring. I know there's other people involved. But those other people can probably see what we see and what's coming. All you have to do, Ryan, you just have to be a salesman. You just got to be able to sell and it's going to sell itself.
It's like he's playing with a little Ryan Cohen and Warren Buffett dolls and enacting a fantasy in which Ryan Cohen and Warren Buffett team up to fight evil people that Rantz doesn't like because he idolizes both these people without really understanding who they are as human beings.
It's game.
Now, Kith.
Stop. I'm a believer in this till the day I drop. Hey guys, they can tell you all the, what do they call it, tinfoil? Oh, so-and-so's going to merge. This is going to buy. No. Who's going to buy the company? Not who's going to buy a building. I'm not worried about distribution centers and freight and logistics.
You should be worried about distribution centers and logistics. Those are necessary components of the company that you've invested tens of thousands of dollars in. You should care about those things. They're fundamental to the functioning of the business. If you don't care about those things, you're not thinking about your investment. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Logistics and final delivery and the new product. That's not what I'm worried about. I want to know who's going to buy the company.
Okay, no one will buy the company if it's a bad company. No one will buy the company if they don't have their logistics in order, if they don't have their shipping networks in order. Benikagami says, this reminds me, help me, I'm stupid. What is graded collectibles? Basically, like Pokemon cards or sports cards, like baseball cards or football cards that have been sent into a company, in this case PSA, and they have professional graders whose job it is to look at the cards and determine on a scale of, I think, 1 to 10, what is the condition of this card. Sort of like comic book. I don't know if you're familiar with comic book grading. Same thing, it gets sent into a company, they grade it, they put it in like a sealed slab, basically, so it's protected so the condition doesn't degrade any further. Yeah, GameStop's, I guess, into that now. It's a very niche market, so.
Who wants to own this company? That's what I want to know. Because I own it. I own it right now. And I know the world wants these shares and they can't have them. The price goes up, we just look at each other. We're like, oh, that was a good day. Nope. That doesn't matter to me. Warren Buffett said, you buy your shares, be prepared to hold, and if you just bought the farm, if you just bought a farm. Yeah, look at that. You can own the farm for 40 years. I'm going to own GameStop forever. Oh my goodness, guys. I've thought about this. You know, I got a bill in the mail. I got a bill today. Check this out. I got a bill. $2,800 I owe in state tax. State tax, because I hate California. And I said, okay, how am I going to pay this bill?
I'm gonna be honest, based on how much money Rantz probably makes as a Costco manager, that really isn't bad as a state tax. Compared to mine, I guess.
Am I going to sell shares to go pay this off? No. Am I going to get mad that I got a bonus coming and that bonus was meant for GameStop? Nope. I'm literally just going to bite the bullet with the bonus. I'm just going to pay it off. And who cares? Who cares if I struggle?
I'm begging this man to put money into anything but GameStop. Holy shit. Fucking put him in a CD. Put him in any kind of high-yield savings account. Stop this, Rantz. My god.
For a week or
Get
two.
a fucking 401k.
I'll get what I need back from this country eventually, right? Eventually I'll live in a better state. Eventually I'll make more money. I'll figure it out. But I don't jeopardize my GameStop position. You guys know this. So I'm telling you now, there are some really big players sitting on the sidelines right now waiting for this correction to happen. But the indicators, they're there. They've always been there. And right now, the true indicator is Warren Buffett selling off his position, his biggest position, his number one position, the most blue chip, in profit position you've ever seen in your life. He went ahead and made that move.
Okay. I think I'm done with my rants for now. I did want to get on the PP show, but before we do that, I did want to check in on Ape Father. Ape Father, I guess, is in a fight with Rantz. So let's look at his response to Rantz. Moira Soma says, I just watched the video about Erotomania or no, that's erotomania, a psychedelic disorder that goes under delusional disorder. It makes a person think they're in a relationship with someone even though the people they're obsessed with don't know who they are. They interpret signs just like these guys. These people have a serious psychiatric illness. We can't diagnose people. And there's a pretty big difference between someone with delusional tendencies and a clinically diagnosable delusional disorder. So let's be careful about applying labels like that to people that we don't know, especially when we're not qualified individuals.
So Rantz was talking about me. I actually saw
This guy is into AMC stock. He's sort of the Rantz of AMC.
it. He was like, "You linguine meatball eating fat mother effer. You think you're gonna make all your money back that you lost from AMC? That I told you it was a bad idea. I told you to get out of it." Okay.
Is he not wearing a shirt? Define shirt. How much hair does it have to be before it counts as a shirt?
Let's he's referring to me making like millions of videos on YouTube. Okay. You figure you get 1, 2, 3 views a video, you're gonna get millions of views. Okay. So let's talk about all of that. Rantz, for the last time, I agreed with you on your show. I agree with you now. I always agreed with you that Adam Aaron used retail is a piece of friggin' garbage and it was a disaster. So I don't know why he keeps saying it as if I disagree with him. No, I agree. It was a disaster. The whole thing was a disaster. But you realize that I'm involved in other places, right? You understand it wasn't just AMC. Like, I called DWAC at 14 and went to 80. Your famous GameStop, you know I was talking to you about it at 16 and that went to 80. Okay, so
I don't think he's on the toilet, but I don't know.
So I'm very heavy in gold. Okay, I got
Meme stocks and gold. Great.
a lot of other things going for me, Rantz. So he makes it like AMC is like literally the only thing I'm involved with. No, I'm getting very heavy into real estate. Okay, so as far as eating a lot of food, I do agree. I do eat a lot. I do take a very big, large crap. Reminds me.
All right, you called it. He is in the bathroom.
You're right about all of that. But the whole YouTube thing is not to make my AMC money back. That's a whole separate thing. I just want to become, very, very successful on YouTube. And you're not really in a position to challenge me, Rantz. I have more subscribers than you. And I have a whole lot, millions and millions and millions more views than you. So if you want to criticize somebody, first do better than them. When you're like millions and millions and millions views behind me, you really should keep your effing mouth shut. Kabish! This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. But Rantz, I'm the greatest entertainer on planet Earth, on YouTube, on social media, and the entire universe. The one and only eighth father on the throne, because I'm the king, baby. Wow! Whoa!
So he's doing great. He's good.
So
he still eats like for those that don't know, he posts like 15 to 20 videos a day, and he always posts his food, which isn't fine. Lots of people do that, but he goes out to eat like every meal of the day, which seems like crazy expensive for how much money he's lost. Concerns me a little bit. He did a big McDonald's feast recently too, if I can find it, because it didn't look good. Maybe he deleted it. Anyway, it's time for a part of the show that everyone absolutely loves. It's time for the pee-pee show.
In the
Reminder, it's almost been a year since Bed Bath & Beyond stock was canceled.
Fellas, how the fuck you doing tonight, man? It's great to see you guys. Hope you guys have been well, man, as we get together on a Friday night, man, here at the PP Show, man, having a couple drinks, man, talking about the goddamn stocks we love, man. So it's great to see you guys tonight. Anybody out there who's tuning in this evening, it's great to see you guys here at the PP Show with us, man. So a lot of stuff to dive
This episode has 7,000 views. He still has an audience.
into tonight. We got some Jake posts here that we're going to take a look at tonight. I think Jake will also be joining us perhaps at some point during the show as well. A couple things pertaining to Spurious Splunker. He got to sit in on one of the court cases, and we do have him here with us.
This episode I picked in particular because they have someone on who sat in on a court session, or I don't know if it was a couple, for the Bed Bath & Beyond thing, which is still ongoing. They're still doing the wind down. The shares were canceled a year ago, but there's still stuff administratively being dealt with in the courts. And they're gonna wind a lot of conspiratorial theories today, so that's why we're watching this one.
Us tonight, so we will be diving into that, a first-hand count of what he got to see pertaining to a lot of this MJL stuff. I've been reading a lot of shit lately, man, and to be honest with you, the way it kind of comes across when it comes with Judge Peepee out there is that MJL could potentially hold this up for a multitude of years if he continues what he's doing. So I want to dive into this tonight as well. It's very, very important. Keep in mind that yesterday,
MJL is a claimant who's trying to get an equity committee together for Bed Bath & Beyond. They're probably an ape. Pretty sure they're one of the apes that's trying desperately to get money, but the other apes don't understand that. The whole thing.
There were some things pertaining to the bonds, which I want to take a look at tonight. Looks like a whale is moving on those.
I don't have any updates on Michael Sifu at the moment, other than Michael continues to dig the hole. I don't know if Sifu or his lawyers have made any further moves. Those that don't know, Michael from the PP Show made some allegedly slanderous comments about Michael Sifu, and basically implied he's a pedophile that worked with Epstein. Anyway, Doug Sifu's telling him to knock it off and sent him a cease and desist. He is not listening.
Those Chewy options again, man, a 5,000 size block, man, when it comes to these Chewy options. Again, this Sunday, man, the fucking dog days are over, man. So I don't know, maybe we'll see DFE post something, maybe we won't. I don't fucking know. But the dog days are over officially on Sunday. There is a little bit of tinfoil surrounding that, whether that be about Chewy, Siri, things like that. So I do want to dive into that as well. We'll take a look at some options as well at some point tonight, and we will take a look at some of the charts when we start off. Again,
yeah, that's definitely a crocheted penis.
GME's looking pretty good, man. From an $18 bottom Monday up to about $22 at the end of this week. I got to say, excellent fucking move. Same thing with Chewy as well. So let's get in the legality, man. We won't waste any more time here at the show. We'll jump into it. I hope you guys got a bottle tonight, man. We're still drinking the goddamn, what is this shit? Don Q, man. We're still enjoying the Don Q out there, man. So again, cheers to all you fellows who are still here with us today. Again, if you ask me, man, something big is most certainly on the horizon. All right. When you factor in everything, Ryan Cohen being a woman on Twitter, the she, her, hers thing being basically shares, things like that. Again, I'm very hopeful for a lot of us out in the community. And
I'm a woman on Twitter now, too. Also in real life, but also on Twitter.
I'm quite frank with you guys. I don't think we're wrong at all. So, cheers to all the fellas out there, man. If you're drinking or you're smoking weed, cheers to all the fellas and all the peepees out there and the gals.
Oh, straight from the bottle, too.
All right. Whew. Let's fucking jump into it, fellas. So, I don't know if I did the legality, but keep in mind,
there
man,
are weed drinks, so you can drink weed.
I'm not a financial
There are ways of drinking weed.
expert, nor am I a financial advisor. So please seek the avenues to do so. You're not going to find it here. I've been drinking a little bit before the show. I don't know if we already covered that. So nobody here is a financial.
No joke. I'm concerned for him. As a recovering alcoholic myself, it's been years since I drank, luckily. I'm not going to joke about this. I try not to joke about people's addictions at all. I get concerned, like there's also gambling addiction in this whole scenario, which again, I don't find funny. I think it sucks and they need help. Concerned about his health, genuinely. Even if you don't like a person, drinking heavily is no joke. It's really bad for you. It's not good. So I hope that's not the situation that's happening and it's just a performance for the show. But I know that when I was a severe alcoholic, I'd also couch my alcoholism in jokes for the camera. And, the jokes were just me basically saying the quiet part out loud. Altered Undying says, hey, Hannah, have you considered getting a sensor overlay, like a digital frosted glass? For what? You mean for, like, this? That's fine. But, like, if it was a real penis, it would be a problem. I'm not sure how to do that, Altered Undying, but I have thought about it. It's probably an effect I can figure out.
Expert. We like getting together. We like talking about the stock, and that's all there is to it, man. So let's fucking jump into it tonight, man. It's good to see you guys here. We got real quick Rick out there with the 10 PP Show gifted memberships. Appreciate your support, Rick. We also got the PP Seed Show with the 10 gifted PP Show memberships. Enjoy those fellas if you were one of the lucky people who got a membership tonight. We also got Corporate Walnut out there with the 2 with the Dead John right on, man. We also got SZ out there with the 20. Appreciate the love, fellas.
I don't know if he's on the verge of losing his apartment. I actually watched the clip today, and it sounded like their lease is just up and they're looking for somewhere else because they can't afford the price increase or something. He didn't mention being evicted. He did mention looking for a new place and that it's really difficult. And I'm not going to make fun of that, because housing, again, it's difficult. It's fucking hard. Like, if he got the price jacked up on him, that fucking sucks. And that has nothing to do with his foolishness with the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff. So I do find it a little interesting that he did receive tens of thousands of dollars from Pulte, allegedly, for the meetup, but he can't afford a price increase on his apartment, which, kind of makes it sound like he maybe threw that money away on options trading, which isn't good. Don't options trade.
And we got Luke Woods with the gifted 10 PP Show memberships. Appreciate your support, fellas. Let's go ahead and dive into it tonight. Michael is going to be a little bit late here tonight, so we're going to go ahead and just bring in Spurious in here with us tonight. So chat, please give a warm welcome to none other than Spurious Blunker.
Spurious is the guy that went to the court hearing.
Are you doing tonight, man? It's great to see you. It looks like as of right now, it's just you and me here tonight. How you doing tonight, Spurious? Looks like you're muted.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's going on, Spurious?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Good, man. So, real quick, you had a chance to tune into, and obviously we're going to pull up your post. I want to read it through for the chat out there. For some of the people out there who don't use Twitter, things like that. Give us a little rundown, man, from in your own words, when you...
Chat, if I eat more of those chips, yell at me. Don't let me. I gotta save my appetite. I told you guys earlier, I have a wedding rehearsal thing I'm going to, and they're having homemade mac and cheese and brisket, and I want it badly, so I can't fill up on these.
You kind of...
I need to fill myself with cheese, carbs, and meats later.
Tuned into this court case. Which case was it, might I ask, in terms of which one you sat into? It wasn't Bratya, it was a different one, correct?
Yeah, there were 2 cases yesterday. There was one earlier in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then the other one was 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, the first one was just bookkeeping stuff. It was just, more of...
Nah, I need all the brisket for me.
Hashing out a bit, accident claims, injury claims, just really, really, really minor stuff. Like, there's really nothing to say about it. I wrote like 1 paragraph about it earlier in the day yesterday. But the other one, the 2:30 one, that was the one, focusing on... The court knows him as ML1.
MJL, yeah. Why the fuck is he called ML1? I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, you're sitting here, you're an investor out there. Why the secrecy, man? Like, the biggest thing for me is that
because people like you will investigate them and interrogate them and dox them if that information was public, most likely.
if you're gonna attempt to, and I'm not saying he's delaying, but I mean, I don't know. From what I've kind of seen with Judge Papalia's responses, things like that, it kind of seems like this could in fact throw a wrench into a lot of things, which could cause a delay. So the thing is that, if you're a concerned investor out there and, you're essentially trying to bring a case forward or try to get answers, I really don't understand the secrecy, right? It's like, who gives a fuck? It's a first and last fucking name. The likelihood of all these things, I don't get it. Like a lot of community members out there, including myself, have been doxxed over the last year or two. And honestly, it's like, back in the day when, what was his fucking name? What was the guy's name with the fucking ponytail? David Simpson, right? David Simpson would come on the show and he was like, he'd always say, even Ross Brown out there would be like, who gives a fuck? It's your first, last name. I've never really understood the secrecy when it comes to a lot of this stuff in terms of.
PP still doesn't make his, like, I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't want it public, which is fair. But I don't understand how he doesn't get that when he himself tries to keep his own name non-public. He got doxxed, but like it's not like he started being open about it after that. So clearly he understands why someone might not want their name all over the internet, especially in this particular community.
If he wants answers, he wants to sue or he wants to bring a case forward. I really don't see the why he has to hide his first and last name. So
no, he didn't get doxxed by Kais. He banned QAnon posts on his subreddit when it was still a thing, and the QAnon people got upset and doxed him. And I don't mean that as comparison. I mean literally there were people in the BPBY community that were also into QAnon and were talking about them like they were the same thing or they were related. And he'd be like, hey, stop posting about QAnon. They got pissed off, posted on the greatawakening.win website, which is a QAnon forum, and then the QAnon forum doxed PP.
So, again, it's very interesting. Yeah.
I can sympathize to an extent with not wanting like the full name to be known. I haven't been doxxed yet, crossing fingers. But
will happen to everybody.
There's a lot of just weird. There's just a lot of, I've gotten some threat messages. Like it's just weird stuff going on. It's like if you could do the good work, if you could contribute, if you could help the community, if you could help the company, if you could shed more light on the corruption without needing to be, like a public figure or people knowing where you live or whatever.
Sure.
That would be nice. That would be ideal. So I can understand him not wanting the full name out there. But if he's going to, if he decided to participate that much, to have a hearing, to be, back and forth with the court, speak before the judge. If you decide to go that far, you have to be willing to go with the procedures that the court requires.
They know that, like, the court knows the guy's name, right? It's just in the public documentation that the guy's name isn't. Like, the court knows the guy's name. It's just censored in the paperwork so people like you don't dox him, right?
And Correct. He hasn't. So, like, the court requires your full name. And it's not so they can dox you. It's so that they can have it on the record, in the filings in the back, in case later lawyers look at
Yeah, they do. Just because it's not public in the paperwork for you to see doesn't mean the court doesn't have it. The court certainly has this guy's information. He was making filings to the court and motions. They have his information.
Case, they need to know how to refer to you.
Yeah, QAnon's still around. It's not as popular. A lot of its beliefs kind of like diaspora'd out of QAnon into the general Republican like belief system, which is fucked up and sad. But that also kind of dispersed QAnon itself. So there are fewer people directly calling themselves, followers of QAnon. Fewer people are like on a daily basis visiting like QAnon forums and stuff, but there are still people out there doing the conspiratorial baking. There's still people who do that. It's just smaller than it was. Unfortunately, as the Republican Party continued to get more conspiratorial, a lot of that energy got siphoned off into just general Republican stuff away from QAnon.
And it's part of transparency. It's part of, holding everybody.
Oh, he didn't give it up at first. It's part of why Goldberg is trying to sanction him in addition to it being a frivolous motion. Yeah, so this has got to be one of the apes, right?
Accountable.
Correct.
It helps keep bad actors away from these bankruptcy cases.
That's what I was about to say. You know, like the major thing is that when you don't provide that information, how is the court supposed to know that, you know, you aren't a nefarious actor at that point? That was a big thing that was going on at the time with Neely Doss as well, right? Relationship at the time, right? I think he wanted a lot of his information remitted, things like that. But even the judge said, you know, this is a public bankruptcy, right? Like if you want to bring cases forward, if you want to do this type of shit, you want to get involved in this, right? Legally, you have to provide your first and last name, right? So I guess they refer to him as...
No, this isn't live. This is from 6 days ago, because this is right after Spurious Spelunker here on the right went to a court hearing, took some notes.
ML1, but...
The notes include the judge saying that all the shares were canceled, by the way, so, like, they know that. They just think they're going to be resurrected somehow from cancellation.
Obviously, it's MJL. So, all right, let's take a look at your post real quick. Why don't we start there?
Why so early? I have a wedding rehearsal to go to later, so we're streaming early.
There's a lot of stuff to dive into tonight. Like I said, I think some of the fellas are going to start kind of drifting in here a little bit later through the show. So why don't we start here? Okay, so from Spurious Splunker, it says, I didn't foresee it would be this difficult.
And also tomorrow's the wedding, so probably not going to stream tomorrow. Probably going to be busy all day. But the next day we will stream, and Sunday we're going to do a patron-only live stream. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you join the Patreon. You'll also get access to the previous patron-only live show VODs. We had a lot of new people last patron-only live stream. It only went for about an hour and a half because I was really tired that day, but that's one of the reasons we're doing it this Sunday as well. And we'll do at least one more later in the month. So, yeah, join the Patreon if you want to be part of that.
Difficult to write about today's hearing if you don't want the full details. Just definitely read the most powerful quotes section at the end of the post. They're very interesting and say a lot. For clarity, when I preface words with someone's name like person 2, I think that this blah 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 should be addressed. This is a raw summation. From my notes of the total content of their much longer statements, when I quote someone here with single apostrophes, it means I'm slightly paraphrasing their words. The message is 100% accurate, but the full quote would be much longer and likely include some other tangential words / topics.
Tangential? Oh my god.
It says when
they really got to have someone else. I know. They know he's not very good at reading things, and I guess they think that's part of the joke. But like, isn't it frustrating listening to this?
Quote someone.
I will say I think he's gotten better at reading quicker. So this show might have actually somehow increased his literacy. So that's good.
With full quotation marks, it means I wrote down their words in real time, as exactly as possible. I'm not a stenographer, but I will stand by these quotes as being nearly verbatim, only maybe missing a word. Stenographer. That's what
reading an Aiden Ross. But who's better at sniffing chairs?
What I said, God damn it. It also goes on to say it's difficult to write this because to me this was a very interesting hearing, and I have pages of notes, many things I'd like to say and converse about, but I also want to respect and not add to the drama. I would say this is okay, right? Like, this isn't really, in my opinion, drama. When it comes to MJL, you know, he's putting himself out there. He's trying to maybe I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's suing the courts, whatever it may be. He's trying to get I think he's trying to get like an equity committee, things like that. The time for an equity committee is it's too late now, right? It's like he had that chance many months ago. And, you know, the biggest thing for me, which is very surprising, out of thousands upon thousands of investors out there, you know, there was only 2 people who really tried to essentially...
How dare you overthought? I've never not been able to pronounce a word. Obviously, I'm perfect and never cringe. Anathema.
I don't know whether you call it delaying or whatever it may be. It was Neely Doss and MJL, right? There's no other... And I find it very surprising, too, right? That those are the only 2 individuals who actually attempted to, you know, kind of go the route that they wanted to go. So, excuse me. But yeah, I don't see it as drama, things like that. I feel like this is open discussion because, of course, he's part of this like bankruptcy case that's ongoing. And if he wants to like hire litigation or he wants to bring an equity committee, things like that, I don't find that as drama. So just keep that in mind. All right. So it goes on to say, I've been hearing about lately, I can't pretend to know what's truly in the heart of another person, what they in fact intend. But sometimes when there is massive, repeated, consistent corroborating evidence, it's hard not to feel pretty certain. It goes on to say, I'm going to try and speak as objectively as I can while still detailing the content of the hearing, because I believe it does say a lot. And what it says is interesting and deserves to be heard and examined. It goes on to say, first thing mentioned was that Papalia denied the extraordinary and inappropriate request by shareholder ML1, which is MJL. Literally submitted just 2 hours before the hearing for the whole hearing to be a closed hearing. Confidential, private, not open for public to see/hear/read via transcript. Papalia said that only for extremely sensitive issues, would such a request be granted. And this was not one of them. Of the total 3 hours in the hearing, probably 85% of it was shareholder MJL speaking. God damn it, I have the hiccups. The judge I got it. The judge Papalia Pap in my notes was very patient, very gracious, and only interrupted once or twice. He allowed MJL to speak as long as he wanted in answer to Papalia's questions/challenges. Even MJL himself.
Forex says, LOL, the bankruptcy case isn't ongoing. It's over. The distribution of assets is ongoing. But no one knows what's going on, man. No one knows what the fuck is happening.
Pointed this out. He thanked Papalia many times for giving him so much in the hearing to be heard out. Even though MJL isn't a lawyer and admits freely that he doesn't know the best/correct way to word responses and arguments in such a formal setting, I want to give credit to MJL for being respectful and humble in the way that he answered Papalia's questions and sought to persuade the judge to see the urgency and utmost significance of what he wanted the court to know. So this was a closed case. Is that right? It's not public. Do you know why?
No, it's public.
Oh, it is. You just have to sign up to it, right? Do you know why they're not running these like public ones anymore? Do you think a lot of people, it's because
BBBY meme stock people kept fucking streaming them.
people were streaming or what?
Yeah, there was earlier on in the hearings in the bankruptcy, I don't even remember the user's name, but someone in particular, and I know one other person too, they were streaming the hearings on Twitch.
I remember that.
I mean, I saw a couple of those hearings via Twitch, so
those are fucking wild streams, man. Where they were live.
The chat was just ballistic.
Yeah.
So, the courts...
That was funny. It was pretty banal, bankruptcy court hearings, but then there'd be Twitch chat full of meme stock people losing their minds over things they misunderstood or misinterpreted.
Rules for these, they're supposed to be public hearings. And part of transparency is like allowing anyone to sit in. You could go to the court in person. You could listen from afar. It's meant to be public, and that way everyone is held accountable. And, the threat of the public, I don't know how to put it, the accountability of the public eye helps everyone be on the straight and narrow in these cases and do what they're supposed to be doing and not do something they shouldn't. But the court sometimes needs control. They need a lever of control that they can pull if and when they need it. So they need to be able sometimes to have a closed hearing where the public wouldn't be allowed to view it. And sometimes they need to, it actually happened in this one. There was a docket back in like June-ish, a few months ago. And, it was the docket. It was the third amended plan docket. The one that got you in trouble. Yeah, the one I screwed up. So that one, I got a hold of the transcript for that one because I wanted to double check what I heard, if it was related to the right matter. And literally the day I got the transcript and literally the day I talked about the transcript and mentioned, I have the transcript, if it would help to send it to anybody, if anyone wants to examine it, I'll just shoot it over to you. That day, the court put out a docket that literally amended everything and said, this transcript is not allowed to be remotely viewed. And no one is allowed to talk about it until 2 months later. I think it runs out, or it ran out in like June.
How do they not realize that they're the fucking problem at this point? Like, after how many times of stuff like this happening do they have to go, wait a minute, are we the problem?
This was somewhere March or something. It was a while back. So there are situations, there are times when, due to the sensitivity, due to confidential company information, important financial information, the court might need to keep it under wraps, at least for a bit, while the proceedings continue, and then a later point it'll become all publicly viewable again. So that's why they don't allow restreaming. They don't allow streaming it on some other platform like people were doing on Twitch. They don't allow recording it. They don't allow this and that in case they need to make a snap decision to redact something temporarily.
Gotcha.
So that's why they did it, and it gatekeeps it a little, but it is free. You can go to court-solutions.com if you want to listen in on these, and you sign up. Anyone can do it. It just does require like an ID check. Like, they will have your name on the record as someone listening in. Yeah.
To make sure you're not streaming it, things like that.
Yeah, just to kind of probably keep tabs on you a bit.
Gotcha. So
MH Dark Beast with 5 stream streak says, shit, that share was supposed to be that share was supposed to be part of my 5 stream streak. Link. Oh, sorry. That makes sense. Same link.
it goes on to say in this post, other than Papaya's questioning / conversing, nearly the only other person who spoke was a new person in the case, which was Jeffrey Curzon, who entered the court proceedings
Curzon Dax?
pro se, representing himself, and says he/she's was a Bed Bath shareholder. I looked his name up. He
past tense.
Doesn't appear anywhere else in the 3,444 Bed Bath dockets in Kroll, and he is not in the list of actual registered shareholders from docket 219. This doesn't necessarily mean he was lying. He may have purchased shares at docket 219's listing on 505 of all registered shareholders, or held them only at a broker, which legally means in the view of the court that he technically isn't a shareholder. But
I had videos from Forex I wanted to show too at some point. There's like a sovereign citizen type dude in the meme stock stuff, and oh boy, you know what? Maybe I did actually show you that guy.
And him,
he was making calls to the court or to the police, and then he ended up getting a warrant out for him for harassing the police over this stuff. Altered Undying says, I threw this together for you, an overlay for blurring. Thank you. Let me save that. Very nice. That should work. Cool. I'll add that to my repertoire so I can throw it up for things that need it.
Because all of this guy's behavior is really, really odd. Curzon basically just echoed everything that MJL was saying. He and MJL responded directly to each other many times instead of the judge or the court they were meant to address. Curzon said, excuse me, many, many times he is an attorney and practiced law for 20 years. Yet he somehow lacked the knowledge of what proper procedures were to file appeals of the kind he and MJL sounded like they would want to file. Now, I do want to add something real quick, right? Back in the day, okay, when Neely Das was doing his court stuff,
it was harassing Vice Chancellor Zern and Special Master Amato. And then Gitara says, watching this while at work, so I have to tune it in and out. Gonna have to catch the VOD later. Are these guys still under the impression that they still have shares in this company? I think they're aware that the shares were canceled, but they don't understand what that means. They seem to think that they still have some sort of equity and that they can be given the shares back, or like that they're gonna get shares in a new company. They don't understand that they have no interest in this anymore.
Right? Like, obviously, we saw Neely Das. He was talking with the judge, things like that. I would constantly ask him to come onto the show, right? You guys know way back in the day, Life Relationship, who is Neely Das, he used to come on the show quite regularly, right? He used to come on. He used to explain his opinion. He used to write a lot of DD. Once he started getting involved with the court cases, all of a sudden, just like that, he was no longer on the PP show. All right? Yeah. It's very interesting. Might I add as well, if you actually look up Neely Das's, bless you, if you look up Neely Das's Reddit account, it hasn't been active in over a year, right? Ever since last summer, he was doing all this court stuff. He just went silent. And I found it very odd because I was kind of looking through his like his Reddit, and he was active in a few other subs. So I found it very bizarre that he just never came back to Reddit, right? He's no longer active. Now, the other thing I found very interesting is the same thing with MJL. MJL used to come on the show, right? You guys remember MJL would come on the show, he'd give his opinion, things like that. And, you know, all people are allowed on this show, right? We always provide links out there, and people are allowed to come on and, you know, say whatever they want or say,
Unless they're a shill, then they're going to kick you off.
say whatever, however they feel, right? Ever since he got involved with the bankruptcy stuff, MJL doesn't show up anymore. So I don't really get why, you know, like these guys are. And again, like, I don't know if this guy's a nefarious actor. Like, the way that you kind of painted it, it did kind of seem that way. But I find it very bizarre that even if you're involved in this bankruptcy, what stops you from coming on the show and just like giving your opinion of what you're trying to do, right? Because
it's like he thinks he's owed people coming on his show and talking to him. It's like he thinks his show is this popular mecca. And, like, if you don't go here, then you're not even really part of this situation. You know what I mean? How strange.
Again, like, if you are getting involved in this bankruptcy, we're all investors. We're all investors who invested into this stock, you know, for quite some time, right? For a multitude of years, we've been here for a while. And I just find it very bizarre that once they get involved in the bankruptcy, they no longer come on the show. It's just very odd. Yeah, let's hear it, 10 Short.
So I mean, my take is, so like I was suspicious of DOS for a while, and I think the reason they don't come on the show is because they get their footing, quote unquote, in the community.
Sure.
They and then I 100% believe that they are plants. Just by the way they.
Here's where we get into the conspiracy stuff. Everyone who isn't part of the community anymore were never really part of the community. They were industry shills planted to spread FUD. No true Scotsman, but also with a little bit of anyone who claims to be a Scotsman is a secret agent.
Behave. Mm-hmm. And then, so they get their foothold in the community, you know, hey, look, you know, how do you do, fellow teens? Like, you know, that Steve Buscemi meme.
Yes, yeah.
How do you do, fellow kids? Steve Buscemi from that 30 Rock? I feel like that was a 30 Rock bit.
And then my favorite one. Start to actually get involved in the courts and try and enact their, you know, delays and their bullshit. They don't come onto the show because everybody knows, you know, the jig is up for them. You know, they're wolf in sheep's clothing, and they try and blend in with us. And then when they get into the courts and they're trying to do their nefarious delay tactics, that's when they, you know, they turn their backs on us because they've got the quote unquote, you know, rapport as I'm a shareholder. Like that's all it is. Yeah. And, you know,
that's a good point, because, you know, if I was debating, right, or if I was doing something in good faith, if I was like, you know what, fellas, I want to approach the bankruptcy court, I want to try to find out answers for us, things like that, I would go and utilize the PP show to explain what I'm doing, right? Excuse me. Like, the biggest thing for me is just, it's so bizarre that, you know,
Eric says, I don't know why they won't come on the show. Also, let's claim that MJL is controlled opposition.
These guys are claiming,
the lack of self-awareness is staggering.
I mean, like, hey, you know, like, I'm for the community. Like, I want to get answers. I want to make sure that, you know, our community is being represented in this and that. But the PP show is you know, it's a public platform that allows these guys to come on and tell us what the fuck they're doing. Like, if you're involved in this bankruptcy, or you're submitting stuff, or you want to be involved, I feel like, you know, coming on the show and explaining what you're kind of doing is, I feel like that's really, like, if you're really, you know, if you're really filing stuff on behalf of the community, why would you not come on the show and explain in your own words what you're trying to do?
PP, you are not a representative of this community. There isn't even a real community. The only thing keeping you together is delusion. You're not even all in the same stock because the stock doesn't exist. You're not owed this.
Like, I just find it very bizarre that,
can I get tinfoil for a second?
But both these guys, like MJL and also Life Relationship, it's the same shit. It's like the moment they submit something, they just don't show up on the PP show. And I have pressed these guys for a multitude of months. Life Relationship, at one point, I was asking them, I was like, look, I know you're involved in the bankruptcy. You're trying to file stuff. Come on the show and explain to everyone what you're doing. Crickets. I asked the same thing to MJL. MJL, you're always welcome on the show. Come on the show.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're doing. Let's be transparent here, just like the bankruptcy, right? Like everything's supposed to be transparent. Why would you not utilize the show, come on the show to explain what you're doing to propel, in good faith, what you're doing for us as investors out there? But it's just so bizarre. Both these guys just don't show up. Go ahead, Spurious, and then 10 Shorts.
Yeah, I think, I agree with everything you both just said. I think the other two reasons that these people, after they insinuate themselves into the community and they build a rapport with, a good bunch of people in there, and then they, talk about, getting more involved, and then they approach the court. The reason that I think they don't come on the show again after that point is because, the game plan is in a new phase. It moves from the phase of integrating into the community, blending in with the sheep, acting like one of us, like a shareholder. I own blah, blah, blah shares. I've been here this long all the way through.
The only people pretending to have shares here are you guys. Benekagami says, or hear me out, the lawyer told them not to talk about it during the case for legal reasons, and after the case, reality hit them, and they didn't interact anymore because they knew this reaction was coming because they used to be you guys. That's kind of what I assume. I think for a lot of them, I think they go and then interacting with people not in this culty bubble makes them kind of realize, oh my god, I'm acting like really irrationally, and I look like a fool. And maybe they talk to actual lawyers who explain things to them in terms they can understand. That seems like the likely reason to me.
Watch the show every night, all that stuff. They all have like the same fucking script that they read off of. And after they do that, and then they get involved with the court, and it just so happens everything they do in the court stands to delay all the shit.
It's almost like we're a group of people who are just making this case take longer and longer. It's already resolved, basically, but all the administrative stuff that still has to happen is just being slowed down by this frivolous nonsense.
It just so happens, right? After that point, because it stands to delay and it stands to cause issues, then they don't come on your show and they don't participate in public conversation on X or Reddit anywhere near as much, if at all, is because people will obviously question innocently. Just be like, hey, why'd you say this in the court? Or like, what's the reasoning for why you're pushing so hard for this thing when it, it kind of sidetracks what the debtor's lawyers are trying to do. And, we know they're on the debtor's side, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Every opportunity live. The key word is live. Every opportunity to debate, to talk, to discuss, to answer people's questions publicly live, they will not do again because they don't have any fucking good answers for that. Because there's no genuinely good answers.
Oh shit!
Why,
Can I bring it?
MJL just showed up, man. Okay, there he is.
Man.
All right. 10 Shorts. Anything you want to add? We'll bring in MJL. Is that actually him backstage? Great to hear from him.
I want to say this, but I don't know if you remember a couple of months ago, PP. It was in the rain. It was when GameStop was trading in the range of kind of, I think it was like, $10 to $12 or something. It was right before we ripped. And then so when Pete the pilot was on, Pete the Shill, I was grilling him because he was claiming that he was long on GameStop.
I think I talked to Pete a time or two, not often, but I think he messaged me a few times during some of this.
And
he tried to explain to them why they were wrong pretty well and pretty reasonably. Of course, those attempts glanced right off him, but that's not his fault. He did his best.
Also claiming, oh, look, I'm one of you guys. I believe in the squeeze, the DTCC, blah, 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 they're frauds. And then I asked him, I was like, how come you won't even buy, 10 shares? If you're willing to put $5,000 into cash secured puts, why won't you even buy 10 shares, DRS them just, to hedge against MOAS, which you claim you believe in, but you're, you can't justify why you won't buy. And I asked him that. I said, why won't you buy shares? And he just talked in circles for about 5 minutes and, said nothing. He answered questions I didn't even ask. He's like, oh, I'm not going to buy out of the money calls. It's like, that's not what I asked. I didn't even mention calls. And then this is just something I noticed because I was the one grilling him and I went back and watched it after. Take what you will from this. But so, PP, you stopped to read a bunch of donations that were laying into him, calling him a shill. And then when he
Why won't people come on our show? Talks about how people will pay him to insult someone on the show. Gee, I wonder why.
Went back to talking, or while you're reading those donations, if you zoom in and you watch his eyes, he leans forward in his computer chair and is looking and like he's reading something. You can see his eyes reading something.
Who?
And then as soon as he starts talking again, he then has some big script of, why he blah, 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 cash secured puts, yada, yada. And just I honestly think he's a bad actor. I really think he's a plant. I think, just the fact that he looks like he's reading off something and all of a sudden he goes from talking about nothing to then he's got some big spiel about it just felt like he was reading it. Like that's the tone it gave off.
Right. I still, it's funny. I still talk to Pete, still to this day. He's not on the show. Things.
Generty says, remember that time you were on the show and they were delightful to you and invited you back anytime? Yeah, that's definitely how I remember it. I don't remember getting called a cunt or anything.
Like that, but I still catch up with him from time to time. I don't know. My honest opinion is that I don't think he's personally a shill. A lot of people don't like Pete. He's just really.
Razor Girl Luna says, what healthier outlet do you think PP could be doing instead of pretending he's an important economic news outlet? Maybe cooking? I bet he'd be into cooking. That'd be good. That wouldn't be a bad one. Maybe gardening.
I don't know, man. But I have seen that there's a thing where you can, I think, sell puts where you get assigned to them. So he has a position in GameStop to my knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
So
you could be right? Like a lot of people don't like him, things like that. I catch up with him from time to time. Personally, I've always kind of liked Pete. A lot of people don't, but I get it, man.
When I was talking to him, he was saying before, he was like, I was like, why won't you buy shares? And one of the first things he said was, oh, well, if my puts get assigned, if GameStop keeps going down, then I will have shares.
Yeah, that's most likely. Yeah, I mean, goddamn fucking trolls out there. I'm honestly not surprised that, again, I had hopes that it was MJL there. So again, my apologies, man, for these goddamn trolls out there.
You know what that
just out a section where he let a troll on pretending to be MJL, I think.
was?
Jesus
that was
Christ,
an attempt
man.
to take down the stream.
Oh,
That's an attempt to stop the talking about it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You have a lot of trolls out there, things like that. It's like, why the fuck are these guys so goddamn obsessed with this goddamn show? I mean, look at Platinum Sparkles out there, right? Supposedly she has one fucking share, things like that. And
one share.
The saddest thing for me is that how the fuck can these shills be so obsessed, man? So obsessed with not only the show, what we talk about, what we discuss, but the Bed Bath community, right? Our shares have been.
Finikagami says, don't feel jealous of PP, Hannah. Here, have some bits I give you to insult me. I won't insult you. Why would I insult you?
Been canceled for over a fucking year now, man. And here we are still sitting here, still discussing it because obviously we have an investment in it. And you still have these shills out there that are obviously just so obsessed with this community, and it's just so bizarre, man. You can be doing a million fucking things with your time, especially when you have someone like Platinum Sparkles, right? Someone who supposedly was the, mod at Supersonic. Obviously, a ton of people were getting banned whenever they were a mod over, whenever she was mod at Supersonic, and she is so fucking obsessed with anything that Pulte says or Jake says or any form of DD. And it's like, to me, it's just, look, it kind of solidifies the fact that we are correct in our entire thesis. These shills.
Never take the mentality that if people are making fun of you constantly, it must mean you're right. That's really bad life advice. Do not follow that.
Are still talking about us. Hell, even Meltdowns.
Chitara says, you could do a million better things with your time, the pot said, calling the kettle black.
Down for a straight fucking week. All they posted about was the goddamn show. These people are overly obsessed when it comes to, again, like what we talk about, our community, things like that. So again, I find it very bizarre. And if she was the Superstonk mod, if she was the mod at Superstonk, wouldn't you think that she'd be talking about GameStop? Why the fuck is she never talking about GameStop? It's always about, no, you guys are wrong. Actually, right here, it says your shares are canceled. Yes, we fucking goddamn know that the goddamn shares are canceled. We've known this for quite some time now.
But do you understand what it means? Because you're not acting like you understand what it means.
But it's just very bizarre. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember when she linked the penny for the lot form for RBC holders on her Twitter?
I do. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
But she doesn't work for FINRA. No, definitely not.
Yeah. But she put an entire tutorial on how to apply to be a FINRA arbitrator.
I remember that.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah. That
And it was the day after people, it was literally the day after people called her out and were like, you know, all these pieces of evidence, like, what if she works for FINRA? Literally the day after, she's like, oh, you know, that reminds me. The fucking
kind of sounds like she did it as an intentional jab at you guys for your tinfoil.
That Ken Griffin just bought.
Yes.
And, like, there's, like, 10 other examples. I don't remember off the top of my head at this moment. There are things, people in positions of power who have a lot of money to throw around.
Mm-hmm.
There are things they do as soon as bad publicity comes their way.
What would even be the point? You can't, the shares were canceled, so you literally can't do anything. You can't buy, you can't sell. There'd be no point in wasting money spreading so-called FUD when you literally can't do anything?
Attached to their name. They will do weird shit out of the blue, has no pattern with what they believe in, what they've talked about previously, what they've done previously, what they apparently care about. Nothing to do with that. Out of the blue, they'll do something, and it just so happens to, like, include a key word so that if anyone went searching for that thing that they heard weird bad publicity about that person, that keyword matches up, and all they will find is articles about this other random ass thing.
Correct.
Just so happens.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, you have to ask yourself, like, why these guys are so fucking obsessed with the show, right? I mean, like,
I've got like
just
another
so
odd.
bizarre to me. You know, it's
show.
like you don't have an investment in this shit. Supposedly,
Neither do you.
no one has ever shown any form of profits that they've essentially made off this stock, right? Whether you
that is crazy. I think
like
about
how
that all
the fuck
time.
I gave
I
the
think
shows
about that
There was a short seller that did show you their profits from it, and then you banned them and said they photoshopped it. Benekami says, Pee-Pee, we're obsessed with you the same way people get obsessed about nature documentaries. You're basically another form of humanity that we're fascinated by, like children in a zoo. I wouldn't call it that othering. I'm interested in delusion. Everyone's capable of delusion. It's just different levels. And I find this interesting. I'm not trying to other them. I'm just trying to understand a phenomena that seems to be happening more and more often online, where people get into these echo chamber groups that turn into cult-like internet communities. I don't need to other them about it.
All the time.
I gave the shills
You don't need to personally like them either, to be clear. I just think, you know, be aware. Anyone can be capable of motivated thinking. Some just get it to an extreme.
fair fucking chance. I said, if 5 people, okay, 5 individuals can show me that you profited on this stock going to zero, I will nuke the entire PP show YouTube. And
Someone
not
already
a
did, and you banned him.
single goddamn, maybe there was 2 or 1 or 2 people who came forward and presented that they profited some form of money. But again, like, that's such a small, it's so minuscule.
But it doesn't, the amount doesn't matter. If they profited and it showed they profited because the company went under, that's it. It could be $1 they made. It doesn't matter how much. They demonstrated it.
Compared to,
That's probably
like,
why he upped it to 5, yeah.
Meltdown in general has over 20,000 members. If you guys were so fucking certain it was going to zero, where's the fucking gains? Like, the same thing with
Shorting a stock is a very risky thing, even when it's certain it's going to go under, because it's full of meme stock people in this case that can keep the price higher than it should. Also, the borrowing rates, because it was such a sure thing, were insane and made a profit nearly impossible near the end, because as it gets clearer the company isn't doing well, the price to borrow shares to short increases, because that's how economic systems work.
a bunch of short sellers out there.
Well,
Yeah.
Nobody has anything to show for it in terms of these supposed, this stock has gone to zero. Show me the fucking gains then, man. Nobody can provide them.
I think
It went from nobody to 2 back to nobody.
saddest thing for all the retail shorts out there that have just turned into self-employed shills. I just want to say this to them because I know they're out there watching. I don't know if you've thought about it, but I have. When the new equity is trading, what price do you think it is going to open up at? Like,
oh boy, what price do you think this imaginary new equity is going to open at? Chat, What do you think? What price is this imaginary new equity going to trade at? What do they think? What do you think they think? What new equity? In Teddy, obviously.
After pre-market,
I got that dill chip all over the chair, and now I'm sitting on it, and I got dill and chips all over my butt.
4.5 hours of trading. What price are you going to be able to close your position at? You know, you will be margin called if you somehow are like Phil the Shill and you've got a couple million lying around. It might give you a couple hours after that, but
Phil was one of the people who showed his short profit. Fennec Agami says, I know you're not othering them. They're still people the same as you and me. My point is that it has nothing to do with him being right. People are obsessed with clowns in a circus. Does that make the clowns right? We're like children going, Mom, what's that strange man doing? And Mom is too tired to tell us to not point and stare.
think about the price it will open at after pre-market, and then just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Right. No,
Look,
I mean, well said.
Think of like what are like these guys have been hanging around for a year. What are they even trying to accomplish by doing all this stuff? Like,
dude, they just know they're on the brink of like financial ruin, and like just that we wait every day for something to happen, for like the best phone call of our lives from our brokers. They're waiting for, yeah, your account's in a margin call of oh fuck, you're broke.
The narrative spinning in order to make them feel better about their terrible decisions is so fascinating.
well, okay, well, let's think about
He did say mic drop.
that, right? If that's like what it is, shouldn't they be doing something, I don't know, to like save themselves? Like, they're not going to accomplish anything like productive by being here, because they should know by now that we're not fucking going to listen. Do you think that they're all just, they're just...
Oh boy, what did Shapiro say about walls now? This is going to be bad, isn't it?
Pretty much ground beef and cheese. Like I have white guy tacos and
what is
like
that?
black,
like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand
we'll
my food knowledge.
You know what? We've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Funny. And then Shapiro says, see folks, it's funny that white people hate spices. Not racist at all, just funny. Fact check, Europeans liked spices so much they literally got involved in several hundred years of war in order to determine control of the spice trade. Wow. Shapiro's really stretching. That's incredible.
just doing what they're being paid to do.
Well, that's what meltdowning is. It's like
fucking,
it's like a baby throwing a tantrum. There's nothing they can do, but they're gonna kick and scream anyways.
They're fucking fucked is what it is, man. Their goddamn boss, all right, is not giving them the goddamn paycheck. All right, their paychecks are getting smaller and smaller, and here they are bitching and trying to cause all this fun and things like that. Again, some people out there, again, unless you're like getting paid to do this shit or you're absolutely a fucking loser.
No, he's just making a joke.
Those are the...
I imagine they put at least fucking, like, cumin and shit in tacos. Like, you put taco seasoning in tacos. Ugh.
Only two...
Just a joke.
Two scenarios that you have. You must be the biggest fucking loser that you have no other time on your hands to do anything out there in the world, okay? That you sit here and you talk shit about investors that you're not even invested in. Again, it's incredibly pathetic, and it solidifies the fact for me that our thesis is absolutely solid, right?
Yeah.
Again,
what's ABC and Trevor doing these days? They still around? Have ABC's kids saved him? ABC's still doing stuff. I think he still appears on the PP show from time to time. By Trevor, do you mean Travis? I don't remember a Trevor. Travis is still on the team too.
We have not seen the final decree take place. We have not seen essentially, not only that, we haven't seen essentially the waterfall or anything kind of take place yet. So me personally,
Screaming at the radio says, wait, don't short sellers get their paycheck the day they shorted? Like, what Like, what they didn't get was obligations to pay it back. Am I insane? Is this dementia? No, you're correct. That's how it works.
That's the way I see it. We have an RK that came backstage here. He says 8-12. All right, we'll see. 8-12.
You absolutely have had white people tacos with no seasoning, ground beef, cheese, lettuce, tomato, olives, maybe salt and pepper on the meat. That's disgusting. I'm as white as they come, and even I, you buy fucking taco seasoning and some cumin, and you fucking put it in there.
12.
What makes it a fucking taco?
We'll see if anything goes down.
All
right.
D-Dow. What is D-Dow?
I have no fucking goddamn idea. Bill Gita, if that's you backstage,
autonomous organization.
Feel free to DM me if you want. We also have, and some people found out that, look, HBC and also Carl, we saw 6th Street.
I'm going to start skipping through, and then I'll have a few shorter clips for us to look at, and then we'll call it.
Come in with a shitload of money in terms of fun.
On a taco sounds disgusting to me.
And there was also there was one post I want to take a look at that he responded to as well.
I mean,
yeah.
I think it has to do with because their securities are coming through there.
Yeah.
How recent is that? Do you
their fees, saying that he thinks that Goldberg is trying to sabotage just so he gets his lawyer fees. So
okay,
I'm not sure.
Goldberg already got paid. I'm pretty sure he got a flat fee for all this shit. And I'm sure it wasn't enough to deal with all this.
I don't know if that changes anyone's opinion on the situation, because Pulte seems to know his shit when it comes to this kind of thing. So.
I also saw someone say, I think even Goldberg said, Goldberg has said himself. I mean, Platinum Sparkles posted the screenshot, but supposedly Goldberg said himself, well, my fees are actually flat rate, so I don't get paid by the hour. So
yes,
he did.
So I think
maybe that's not a valid.
I think Pulte knows what's happening. I think he's playing.
Pulte doesn't know anything.
Playing stupid.
I still don't.
Ditto, flower sheeps.
Like Goldberg, but I think that all the money that needed to be clawed back was clawed back from the third-party release before the bankruptcy even started, so it's fine.
Probably.
But so Goldberg might be dragging his feet, not litigating everyone he should be litigating and everything, and maybe just kind of wasting time. But ultimately, it doesn't.
He's suing Ryan Cohen now, which is pretty funny.
Matter. It just would be nice for him to claw more back.
Sure. Well, we have the maritime lawsuit, right? We have that. That's a couple $100 million right there. We have the board that's being sued for, I think, a couple billion. HBC, they're trying to go after when it comes to Hunter in his case. So, I mean, there's a lot of routes in terms of clawing back money, right? There's also a lot of stuff that we haven't heard about Gustavo Arnal and the place and what he kind of played a role in this. We've seen all the board members, right? Shit, we got to use that button a lot more. Bottom of 8 thing happened with Chewy. $20 bottom, $19 bottom, and absolutely. That is what the plan man says that even excluding the $10 billion claim, there's many more millions in claims which are priority claims before getting to the unsecured creditors class. Plan admin says there are currently $0 in the proceeds pool. There are still $381 million in claims before that. There would be
Ray says, my sister's husband has never had white people food, and one night me and my sister made like a buffet of stereotypical white people food. It was great. Was there anything they liked the most or hated the most?
Be any proceeds going down the waterfall. I'm sorry. There's still 381 required.
Okay. I'm done with the PP show for today. I find it interesting that he is still at this point not, and I know that he has a financial incentive, but like so many of the other dudes on that show, and it is mostly dudes, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll watch some clips from specific things, and then we'll see what we're at in terms of time.
Okay, let's go ahead and continue here real quick. We got Thomas the Tank, Thomas the Shill out in the chat with the 10. Been a while, fellas.
They loved Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict is fucking delicious. I had Eggs Benedict for the first time last month. Why were you all hiding hollandaise sauce from me? It's fucking delicious. I've never had hollandaise before, and it was incredible. It changed my life.
Hope you've been well with all this winning. Has Jake Too Broke admitted he has no clue what he's saying, but he's addicted to clout and the fame from you all. All right, you heard it from Thomas the Shill tonight. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Jake's the best, you goddamn shill. All right, so
See, Baja sent another thing on the walls thing. I don't know, people. I make a pretty mean hot dish, which is like a casserole. Check out my award-winning recipe for turkey taco hot dish here. And then it says, my favorite micro scandal is conservatives claiming Walls is lying about how low spice tolerance because he makes hot dish, which they assume is spicy because it has hot in the name. No, it just means casserole. It's just a Midwestern word for fucking casserole. People put mayonnaise and shit in it. Oh, here's Jake 2B describing himself accidentally.
It's funny because bears speak with such confidence and try to be so convincing in their opinion, passing it as fact. But this is another one of those great examples where they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Wow, don't know anyone like that. That must be really frustrating, huh?
So, Chad, please give a warm welcome to Sloppy and also Travis the Stripper. We'll let Travis go ahead and ride in with Sloppy here tonight. Yes, good luck. Are we doing? All right, what's going on? We got Travis and also Sloppy here with us tonight. Fellas, how the fuck are we doing this evening?
Good. Happy Monday.
Yes, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Excellent stuff. So, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. We do have this call going on right now. We're going to go ahead and just pull it up. And like I said, about 15 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and move on. Is it even working?
You want me to try to pull it up and share?
Yeah, if you want to try to get it, that'd be cool. Let's
All right, give me
see.
a second.
Is it crashing Twitter right now? I mean, I'm sure there's a
No.
lot of people maybe trying to tune in. Real quick, we got Slobo out there with the PP membership for 16 months. Appreciate your support. We also got Slobo out there with the 10. Appreciate your support. We also got Bill G out there with the 2. Sloppy, my fellow Indian brother, is here. Right on, man. Glad to fucking hear it.
Right on.
Is it working for you over there or what?
Negative.
All right. Looks like we might not be able to tune into this tonight. Those who don't like Trump or Elon, there you go, man. Your prayers have been heard. It looks like it's not working tonight.
Trey says his reaction was amazing. Step 1, why doesn't this sandwich have the rest of the bread? Step 2, oh god, the yolk is all runny. It's getting over the rest. Step 3, this is top tier food. Why is it so good? Because eggs are delicious. Eggs are the perfect food. That's a fact.
The hell are they still bothering? Why the hell are they still bothering? Why are the shorts, why are the big players on the other side of the trade that are already fucked? Like, why bother with these random tactics? I think there's 2 reasons. I think 1, these guys are in such positions of power and they've been winning so hard for so many years. They are not used to losing. They
Correct.
never really lose or never really lose big. Because they have all their cabal and they have all their rigging in the market.
Cabal, ooh.
It's like there's so many ways they can mitigate when they're in a losing position. So because they're not used to losing, they have egos as big as fucking Jupiter. Okay,
Amen.
That's the way. Like, they can't stand the idea of losing. So even if it's a pointless idea, a useless idea, a bad idea, it would cause Streisand effect. More people, just by talking about it, just by drawing any attention to it, more people are going to know, and it's going to be a net bad result for them. It's a bad decision, but they do it anyway because their fucking egos can't take losing, and they want to try and tell anyone, we didn't lose. No, you lost.
Yeah.
Stupid bullshit.
Or they're going to find out real fucking.
Maybe they will get bought up by IMAX. This level of projection is unprecedented. Here's more Rantz talking about book value and why he thinks it's important, unless this is the same video.
Guys, welcome back. I was talking about something on the live stream today, and I want to put more focus on it. 50% of the share price, over 10%. It's really pretty good on the live stream today, and I want to put more focus on it. Obviously, it's going to be about GameStop in the end, but we were talking about Intel stock, and I was telling you that they're trading below tangible book value. And what that means is if the company were to file for bankruptcy today, tangible book value is the value minus goodwill and other assets. So it's necessarily what's the liquidation price of this stock? And that's what Intel's trading below. So of course, it's a good buy in some people's eyes, which is fine. Go look at that all you want. But I'm looking at GameStop, and I'm looking at all the Mag 7. So I want to show you something, okay? And you guys can look at this and for whatever it's worth. This is GameStop. Right now, it trades at $21.93. And when you see GameStop trading at $21.93, we can go down the balance sheet and go look at tangible book value, and it's at $4.27. Now, that is not accurate, okay? The $4.27 does not represent the $4 billion to $4.1 billion worth of shareholder equity that is GameStop right now. So when the earnings report comes out next month, it comes out in about 3 weeks, they're finally going to reflect the influx of cash and the actual tangible book value for the company. It's going to jump up to $10.25, $10.26. I've done the math.
Rantz, that's priced in. People are aware of their billions of dollars that they raised off the back of retail shareholders.
Here's what that is. That's 50% of the share price, meaning GameStop is currently trading at a valuation. 50% of the stock itself is actual book, but tangible book. So that's killer, and I'm going to show you why. Let's go ahead and compare it to the Mag 7. I'll take you to Tesla. Tesla's at $200 a share, and when you jump down to their tangible book value, you're going to see Tesla is worth $20 a share, so about 10% of the stock price. Mind you, GameStop is 50%.
Yes, they're a larger multiple of book value because their goodwill, the future price that people expect, the priced in understanding of the future of the company is higher. People have a higher opinion, right? You get that, right? Also, Tesla is also overvalued, but that's a different thing to talk about.
That is how great of a buy GameStop is. GameStop is necessarily 5x better than this because you're not buying an inflated share. You're actually getting the whole.
That's not how any of this works.
Company when you buy a share of GameStop. It's just undervalued right now for what it is. And this is.
It's obscenely overvalued.
It's just based off of the shareholder equity of the stock in the company itself. We can go to Meta next. Meta's at $517 a share. How much of that is tangible book? Well, when you go ahead and look at it, it's going to be $50 a share. So like I said, 10%. You saw Tesla at 10. You see right here, Meta at 10. We'll go to Microsoft.
How does he not understand if you're already valuing it at book value and that's your main focus? It's almost an admission that you're fucked? I don't get it.
I don't know, man. You know, this could make sense why shills are in shambles, man. I mean, look at it. 20 million a goddamn share. Now, could we be looking at 20 million a share? I don't know, man.
Oh, this was because there was a glitch, and for a second it showed the price at $20 million a share, which someone did the math on this. That would make the market cap of the company in the, I think, hundreds of trillions of dollars. I'm going to go ahead and say that's not the case. This guy's pissed off. This might be about the MMLP situation, which I haven't really talked about.
Because I said we can do better. Fuck you. Fuck you. We can do better. We can do better. We shouldn't have had a $32 million loss. Nobody went and saw Furiosa from the Apes.
Oh, this was AMC. This was an AMC ape.
I don't know what to tell you. Nobody went. Nobody went and saw Horizon. Nobody. You got 4 million apes. Well, Chris, they just weren't. No, they were great movies. Horizon was a great movie. Furiosa's getting rave reviews on streaming. You guys just didn't go see it. And that's okay. Because you don't have to be upset because you're not that invested in this. You're not.
If you're dependent upon your actual investors buying your product, you are already fucked. You need people outside of your insular bubble to want this product.
If you were, you'd care more. And if you cared like me, we'd be rich by now. But you don't. So I understand why you're sitting there on the sidelines going, you know what? You take this a little too seriously. You take your time too seriously. You take your money too seriously. You take all this too seriously. Yeah, there's people in this movement who do. I take this very fucking seriously. I take it all very fucking seriously. I try my best to do as much as possible for the community that I can and teach people how this actually fucking works. I don't blow smoke up your ass and go like, oh my God, there's a new filing and we're gonna discuss that in a call for an hour while advertisements run. And we're gonna just pretend we know what the fuck we're talking about. Like I worked for the fucking SEC and have a finance degree. This is it. This is it. Wait, just, okay, the date went by, but you gotta give it a little time. Whoa, you guys thought that was big? Wait until the next phase, because that's gonna blow the shorts clean out of the water. We're gonna have to rethink their entire strategy. Super excited for that. That date passed? Just give it some time. I'm a fundamentals guy now.
Gitara with 50 bits says, if all you had to do was buy products from a company you already own shares in to increase the share price, people would just do that. It seems like a near infinite money glitch, especially if you already have a ton of capital to throw around. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element.
Shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck what you think anymore, because you've been proven to be a fraud, bro. Oh, Chris is hurting his feelings, and he's our guy. Really? He's our guy? How many fucking space calls does he run? How many times does he sit in calls and talk to you guys? Oh no, Chris is on our level, but Bigums is up here. These guys are YouTubers, man. They're stars. And Chris is just one of us. These guys are way above you, bro. They got 100,000 followers. I don't give a fuck how many followers there are. They're stupid as fuck. Making shit up. And you guys are buying that shit, paying their fucking rent. So fuck you. How about that? How does that feel? To know you paid someone's rent who fucking lied to you. This is time. And I'm fucking obsessed with my time being a good one.
I'm sorry, why did he write time on the whiteboard for emphasis?
So if I'm not having a good time, I'm dead fucking serious about having a good time. And I want to have a good time. So
this is going great.
So this is time. Who love to snipe, but never come up in space calls to fucking actually confront me because they're cowards. Who love to snipe from the fucking tweets and comment section. All of you who put words in my fucking mouth. This is what I'm saying. Because as I've said...
What'd I do with the whiteboard?
Many times. It's all fundamentally based. It's based on fucking movies and how many you go to and how much popcorn is sold, how much drinks you buy. Have you ever heard me say, go buy popcorn, go buy drinks, go see a movie, go get some candy, and go get A-listed? Why the fuck do
these meltdowns are so juicy, I be craving some fondue?
you think I'm telling you that? Who else is telling you that? Is anyone else telling you that in the fucking movement? Is anyone else? Other than Mayhul and fucking Eric Stanley? No.
Yeah, that's not great. That's really not great. Woof. What the heck is this crap?
Faraday future stock zips past the 29-cent mark. Buckle up, because it's a bullish joyride ahead. Breaking this resistance means buyers are revving their engines, ready to speed up the price. This breakout could send short sellers scrambling to cover, leaving them in their short sore, should we say, without them. As the stock zooms higher, more buyers will hop on board, making this a wild, upward ride. Retail investors can help push it up by buying shares, spreading the word, and holding strong. But remember, keep an eye on the volume and market vibes to avoid any false starts. Stay savvy and drive smart in your trading decisions.
Oh boy. M. Scheffler with 33 months says, my god, the ads, the fucking ads. I hate Twitch, but Hannah is okay-ish. Well, thank you. With that membership, the ads will be banished at least for another month. You hate the ads on Twitch. Make sure you get a subscription. Or beg for a gift subscription. Maybe someone will give you one. Alright, let's see what we got next. Oh, here's a brief Travis clip. I know someone was asking about Travis a while back.
But like, how does one go about finding out the true information? By talking to somebody who doesn't even know half of it. And that's why I keep saying you got to get in touch with the estate attorney. The only way to do that is through an attorney. And it's unfortunate because shareholders, we should have more rights than have to go spend thousands of dollars getting somebody who will just go find out what we're entitled to.
He's not a shareholder anymore. None of them are. So they're not entitled to anything.
It should be clean cut and dry. It should be out there. It should be known. There should be legal.
Is this AI cope? Ooh, that would be a good stream topic. I did crypto stuff and I do meme stock. I really should do a stream where it's just delusional AI bros and their like products, their images, the videos they make. That would be interesting.
Precedent for making it easy for people who have an equitable interest in a company to be able to obtain information about said company without it being confidential and redacted when the damn thing's not trading. So even if it's material non-public information, you can't trade on it. Do you not see the ludicrousy here?
No, I get it. I get it. Trust me.
How do they understand that the stock is canceled but not understand what it means? I don't get it. If this one will load, call it AI agony. That's actually pretty good.
All red. Google down 6%, Apple 10%, Meta 8%, Spirit 6.5%, DraftKings down 8.5%, Penn down 6%, Tesla down 10%. On and on and on and on and on we go. And I love it. I love it. It's like me shopping in a candy store. When there is blood in the streets is when Dave eats. All right? I've learned through this game. You gotta have dry powder. I got dry powder. You think Ken Griffin's not licking his chops, doing just eating? Ken Griffin's eating right now. The guy who owns the Mets, Cohen, he's eating. They're the ones half the time that who create this chaos, and then they watch and they laugh at the fools.
That guy needs to chill with the edits, I think.
Something, a little juice. You know, a year ago, unfortunately, it was a year ago, I had gotten contact with James Janney. They reached me, right?
Oh, we saw this. This is about the James Janney documentary, which is still being worked on as far as I know. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Trying to see if there's anything else before we finish up for the day.
Can you hear me or not?
Okay, we'll end on a Rantz video just because, I don't know. I guess he's in on the hot tub streaming meta, the pool streaming meta these days, so let's check out this video from Rantz and then we'll call it a day.
I'm out here getting my workout on today. I took the day from the market. I know everyone's excited about it, but I'm taking a swim. So, let me know if you guys can hear me.
Are you taking a swim because you're underwater on your GameStop stock?
If not, I'll go hook it up in my studio. Still very upset with Amazon, for those of you. Hey, what's up, American? How you doing? Upset with Amazon right now because a computer that I bought, and they said it would be delivered yesterday. Said should have arrived yesterday. It didn't even arrive today. You know, I was like a what would I call it? I was like,
why did he order his computer from Amazon? I'm so confused. He's so into GameStop and they sell PC parts now. wouldn't you think he'd buy shit from GameStop? Or does he understand that they're a dog shit company that charges more for the same stuff? Seems kind of like an admission that GameStop sucks. All I'm saying.
Like a kid waiting for his dad to come pick him up on the weekend. You know, I grew up in a divorced home, so my mom used to pick us up in the weekends or not pick us up, and we would be waiting by the window. Okay, and that's how I felt about Amazon today. And there's two Richards that I watch, but he can spit out some articles from Superstock, that's for sure. Yeah, I saw his post. Don't worry about it. I saw the gist of it. And I still understand we're in the Dorito of Doom. We're reaching it again. So,
I'm sorry, the Dorito of Doom?
Yeah, do I expect a run-up to come? I told you I really like this earnings report coming out, so that's just me. What's up, Carter? How you guys doing? Matt Haney, good evening. I'm really excited for the earnings report coming out. And I can't wait for it because I think GameStop's going to be amazing, right? I've been relaxing because it's 109 degrees today. Well, it was right now when I was playing basketball, so I came out here to the pool to cool down because I was playing ball. And mind you, I haven't played basketball in 2 years, so I looked the part.
God damn, his connection's bad. Alright, I'll pick a different video because he just keeps cutting out.
For 7 days, it's already booked, man. I booked it this afternoon, and I'm on my
Video's
phone.
entitled Gen Z. Rantz, I think, is Gen X. Could be wrong. I think he's Gen X. I'm a millennial. He's talking about Zoomers.
Still waiting on my PC.
At least that's the title.
You see, so Amazon, you gave me the best price possible, but you didn't deliver. It said, will deliver 13 or 14. Is today the 14th? Because I'm back.
Again, why did you buy from Amazon?
Right now. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to say good morning, good evening, and good afternoon.
CC here, Chris, Westchester County.
Everyone out there.
Think about it Friday here on Flat Earth.
You guys watch from all parts of the world, from Japan, Australia, UK, Israel, all over the US, Canada. I've got people everywhere watching. That's pretty awesome for GameStop, considering it's still my favorite thing to buy. I know a lot of people are pushing out other stocks in front of you, other information. We have a lot to talk about tonight, and I say it with a little bit of enthusiasm. I'm in a good headspace right now. I'm feeling really good about today. I had a great day. The only thing I'm nervous about, to be honest with you, is this. Let me look for it really quick. I'm gonna grab something. Hold on. Crossed away. Sorry. So, shout out to you guys. Here's what I'm nervous about. Okay, it's this 15-day cleanse. All right, these pills.
Oh no! Is he falling for some sort of cleanse program?
According to TikTok, are gonna run through my system and clean out my intestinal tracts or whatever. It's the
You bought supplements you saw on fucking TikTok? Oh god, his poor colon.
equivalent of a colostomy or something like that.
I would never buy pills on the internet that promised me a result similar to a colostomy. I don't trust your shit pills, okay? No bueno.
And so I'm supposed to report back to Stacks and Hot this year and everyone else about this cleanse thing. And I'm don't worry, I'm doing the sacrificing here for you guys. So it kicks in 8 hours. I took it 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago now. I'm nervous. I don't know what it's going to do to my insides and my gut.
Probably make you shit real hard.
But apparently it's supposed to clean you out.
You could just take a laxative. Like, off-the-shelf laxatives exist.
Remember, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to look right. I want to feel better about myself and my health. Shout out to Trove. My man Trove. He's from the UK. He's a brother of
Yeah,
mine.
he could have
He's
just made Jilly Juice. Get those waterfalls.
Honestly, I think he's my spirit animal. He's such a good dude, and he sends me like the best messages ever. And they're not written messages. You know what Trove does? He makes videos. He makes videos and he sends me videos, and they're like really good. Like I'm watching, I'm like, all right, Trove, I hear you.
He probably means a colonic and not a colostomy, yeah.
Man, he's talking right to my heart and my soul. But
colonic is where they like send a bunch of water up there and out, and basically, you know, colostomy is like when they A colostomy is like when they do an operation to like make your colon go out like the side, and then you got to get a bag, right? Because you have to have your colon removed or something.
Kiss me, Rantz. Adrian, you got to take a number, bro. The new computer didn't come in yet. I did get a new external hard drive from Kyoto, from Mr. Japan himself. Kyoto sent me a external hard drive, which is cool. Appreciate it, brother. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it going. You know, people don't know this about the channel, right? Like, I have people who help, you know, with content. It would be Jay. Jay's my biggest helper. With their own mindset on GameStop and how you invest. You read in the Discord, right? Our Discord. I can't link it here. One of the moderators can do it for me because I'm so busy and I can't do it here. But I will tell you, the Discord is there, and there's 1,200, 1,300 people in the Discord. So plenty of people are typing and talking GameStop, showing their buy orders every day, things like that. You know, I had somebody gift more cards for the channel for the giveaways. And you should see what they came through with this time, and I'm just like so thankful in a way, always, right? So I want to just make this like announcement to you guys: the Kobe Bryant rookie card that I was going to give away in September when I go to LA and I do the Walk of Fame and all that. That card's gone. My mom caught wind that I have the rookie card, Kobe Bryant rookie card from GameStop. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna have to buy a new one then." And she's like, "I need that card. You can't give that card away."
I'm sorry, you bought a card to give away to your audience and told them you were gonna do it, and then your mom took it? That's fucked up. That's like genuinely pretty fucked up. What are you doing? Like, if that happened to me and I was still in communication with my parents, I'd be like, "No, I run a business and I made a promise to my audience. You should get your own." What fucking psychotic behavior? You bought something for a giveaway for your audience and then you gave it to your mom instead. That's weird behavior.
Crazy, bro. I didn't even know she was gonna get like that. And then I had another card of Magic Johnson, and she took that card. And I was like, "Man, you got to calm down." So anyway.
I think maybe Rantz needs to evaluate his relationship with his mother, because that seems weird and unhealthy.
A lot of new cards coming through. I'm trying to see if there's anything that people would know or want. There's the Steph Curry from the Optics.
Boundaries, maybe some no's.
It's all Don Russ. GameStop sells a lot of Don Russ cards, and I'm doing well, Jeffrey. I'm doing great. But look at this one. Like, look, I'm gonna give this away. This is a Larry Bird Winter Stays card from Don Russ Optic right there. So this was all gifted. I didn't have to go get stuff. My point is, you know, Kyoto might, you know, he's gifted me external hard drive. I've had other people gift
Why
me.
does
You
his
know,
mom want the cards? Must be a sports fan.
Hats and stuff, and just anything you can to support the channel and the way they do it. But
I hope he bought those cards his mom took and they weren't like, because he said these were gifted to him by fans to do giveaways. He better not have given away one that was given to him by a fan to do a giveaway to his fucking mom, because that's messed up.
All these
I already think it's weird if he bought them, but if he was given them with instructions like, "Hey, do a giveaway," and then he gave it to a family member instead, that's fucked up. Don't do that. That's disgusting.
I'm looking at all these cards. They're pretty amazing. That would be given away. And it's just to remind people that there's people out there that are giving, right? So, give you an example. There's a new Dirk card that will be given away. But I have them all like ready to go. I don't know who the hell Jordan Walsh is, but they sent me this autographed Jordan Walsh card, rookie card.
I could not care less about all these goddamn sports cards.
You'll be a week earlier, Jeffrey B. Wow, I'm going to be there for 7. I don't even care, right? Somebody always pencils you in some category. But it says Gen Zers. 97% of them shop brick and mortar, which was like a delightful thing to hear. I was laughing about it, so it made me feel good. Marantz, do you think it's weird that Ryan Cohen hasn't sold Apple after Buffett did? No. Roaring Titties, I don't think it's weird. I just think it's weird that people feel like other people have to follow the suit. You know, the Apple position is one thing. Like, I see people have to know the difference here between Ryan Cohen, the investment, the RC Ventures investment, versus Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, show my work type deal. Like, they have to show their investors profits and or gains so that people can continue to believe in what they're doing. This is how they get investors and investments and whatever it be. Ryan Cohen's personal account, like what he holds personally, I don't see how he has to sell Apple at any point, because Apple's like, he got in at the lowest possible rate for him, and he's just sitting on wealth. It might even be collateral for him. You don't know. He's huge on Alibaba right now. But what's also crazy is that it was reported Michael J. Berry. You guys know who he is. If you guys don't know, Michael Berry
from The Big Short.
Berry is Dr. Berry. What did I say, Jay? Did I just throw a J in there for no reason? Anyway, Michael Berry is he's known. If you guys don't know who he is, he's portrayed in the movie The Big Short, and he's the main character in The Big Short. Who's the actor that plays him? I forget his name right now.
Christian Bale.
The famous guy, the Batman. I don't know. Whatever. Michael Berry. He predicted the housing crisis in reverse, went ahead and developed a market for it, went to the banks themselves, asked them for swaps on a short position where he was betting against the market.
It's a pretty good movie. If you've not seen it, it's entertaining and simplifies certain financial concepts.
A premium per month, and he didn't understand because he knew they were going to default.
Consumers even shop at GameStop, let alone any other brick and mortar. I have no idea, because the statistic he brought up, brick and mortar, I'm curious how they're defining it, because, like, is a grocery store considered brick and mortar? Because most people still do their grocery shopping in person for obvious reasons. Do they go to brick and mortar for things you can get on Amazon or digitally download? I'm thinking no. At least not often. Not as often as people did back in the day. But I don't know. I'm a millennial, and I don't know any Zoomers, so I can't really speak to it.
He knew everything was set up on an ARM, adjustable rate mortgage, right? So the mortgage-backed securities themselves were going to fail, default, because the ARMs themselves were increasing from year to year to year, from quarter to quarter to quarter. America can't handle that. They couldn't handle the inflex on rates. He knew it. He knew that everyone was going to. This is what you call like true evaluation. This all came out today, which we already did some of this homework here on the channel, but somebody.
I want to see if he talks about Zoomers more. If not, we're going to call it a day.
It's going to be called ALN. $38 billion worth of market cap. How do you have more market cap than GameStop, yet you do nothing for it? That's just an example of what's happening right now as far as the true measurements of this market. They're not grading
fair Halloween Town, fair.
Every company fairly. They're not grading them on the same scale. And
I guess I don't think about your age.
It's costing, I guess, market cap for GameStop, but
that's true. Okay, yeah, Amber's a Zoomer too. Shit. Okay, I do know Zoomers.
It's okay. It has to. You have to short GameStop, or you have to undervalue it.
In my head, when I think Zoomers, this is gonna sound terrible. I still think of someone who's like 16. I forget that I'm one of the younger millennials, so basically anyone younger than me by like 3 or 4 years or more is like a Zoomer. I forget that. I'm sorry.
Because it is the hedge to this whole economy right now. And 2021 proved that. But when you actually do your homework on it, it's there. Shout out to Mara. Mara actually bought a $249 million worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin trading around $60,000 right now. Is it something that I would buy? No, I wouldn't buy it, but people think it's going to go up, and that's cool. If it does go up, kudos to them and everyone else that's holding it there. So those are some of the insights on this market as far as valuations go for what we're paying attention to. But if you saw my video this morning, or if you missed it, I talked about Home Depot. I've been studying Home Depot for the last 4 years. I looked at the balance sheet. I was the first to report it, even like connect the dots.
Benigagami says, or Ryan Cohen is a tech bro dipshit that thinks Apple's antitrust stuff is based and thinks Peter Thiel and tech bro VC billionaire mobsters will destroy our democracy and the FTC, so Apple will survive and is therefore dumber than Warren Buffett.
Style I had a video where I said GameStop's the next blue chip, and I showed you that Home Depot had the worst balance sheet I've ever seen for these companies that people champion.
Yeah, and I think they're profitable, so.
But it's okay. So I literally am looking at things saying, you're in a recession. I feel it in my pocket, but yet they're telling you have to wait for the Fed to tell you. No, you don't. You know.
You do, actually, because that's the definition of a recession. What are you talking about?
Exactly what it is. Just remember, we've all been investing into GameStop for so long. And at first it was like a fun thing. It was like hey, these guys don't know what they're doing. They're dumb money. And at first they make fun of you, right? I make a YouTube channel. All my friends and family are like, what the hell are you talking about? A little gaming company. Ha, ha, ha. They laughed at you. They point fingers at you. Or they did to me. And I'm okay. I own it, guys. I own
past tense.
Own it, and I wear
Did.
You guys know I walk around town with GameStop on. Think about it. That guy wears GameStop shirts, bro. He's an idiot. Like, you know, there's other people who make YouTube channels just make fun of you. But remember, they make fun of you first. And then they join you. And then they follow you. And then they respect you. And then they understand. Because 4 years ago, you would love to be where you're at today. So don't ever forget where you're at. Right now, in this moment, you're a $4 billion company cash-wise. You're doing great.
They raised the $4 billion off of you guys. Fenigami says, good news on that front, too. Voters are starting to trust Kamala more than Trump on the economy, and Vance is officially the least popular VP pick in the past century. Fuck yes.
Operating at a profit when everyone had you losing $500 million a year just 2 years ago. This is exactly where you want to be, guys. It's a great investment, and I love it. So you just have to believe, and I totally believe in this part, you just have to believe in something that you can't see, right? Well, what are you doing with the money? Or how's it ever going to become profitable? Or what do you mean it's digital and they're always going to lose money? No, just believe. That's all I ask. And I know.
Just believe! Again! He's treating it like a religion instead of an investment. These are different things.
It sounds crazy, guys. It's like a
At least they should be.
Deal. It's like a spirit. It's a cult. No, shut up.
Got him. He said, just believe. Don't trust your lying eyes. But also, if you call us a cult, shut up.
Believe in something. Believe in someone. Listen, you don't know your story.
Belief can be great. Blind belief is dangerous.
You don't know the path you're going to take. You don't know how you got here. You don't know all the mistakes you had to make. I've always said this too. Like, the biggest mistake in life might just put you right on the path that you need to be. And glory, glorious things happen. Only because you don't write your story. You know, your story is written in stone. And whether you have a fake belief, whether you believe it's God, that you can ask for certain things and it happens for you, or you don't believe it. I don't care what you believe or not. I'm telling you to believe in GameStop. And why do I say it that way? Because you don't see it. Because you're not told how it's going to happen. I know. I'm right there with you. Now, you can choose to have doubt. You can choose to let that in and creep in and be a negative person like most people do. Or you can just say, you know what? Fuck it, man. I believe in something for once. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give this a shot. Everybody wants to talk about like risk tolerance, or you just won't, you don't take a big risk, or you're not willing. That used to be the thing with PP seeds. And then it echoes in my head with you copy always saying, it's because you don't know how to evaluate risk, man. You don't have the balls. He said that to me. And I was like, who are you to tell me I don't have balls, right? No, it wasn't that. It's like, they don't understand the risk you're taking. You're taking the risk of telling your friends, your family, and everyone else, you don't know what you're talking about. You guys can't even read a balance sheet. You guys can tell me I'm dead wrong. The whole world's telling you you're wrong. Mass media is telling you you're wrong. But yet all you have to do is walk over to a damn 10K, read it front to back, and go, you know what? This is not true. GameStop's not going bankrupt. GameStop actually is worth something.
Again, lack of bankruptcy is the bare minimum.
It's more than what they put in front of you. But you got to...
Most companies are not at risk of bankruptcy right now.
Believe in something.
Because that's just how companies are. If you're constantly at risk of bankruptcy, you're already fucked.
They're not allowing you to see. That's all I'm telling you. And is it a religious feeling? Whatever the hell they want to paint it out to be. I just call bullshit on people, man. Bullshit on you believing in yourself. That's what it is. These guys doubt themselves in the mirror. Yet they want to come out to you and tell you know what? You're dumb money. You're invested in the wrong thing. You should be buying all the blue chips. You want to chase NVIDIA? Chase NVIDIA. You want to chase Apple and Microsoft? But he still calls me every day at 2 o'clock. Info.
All right. I got to get going because it's about time I got to leave for the wedding rehearsal. So I'm sorry I got to cut that video off. It was getting interesting. But it's time for us to be done for the day. So let's see where we're going to do a raid. We'll raid service. All right. Have a great night, everyone. I will see you soon. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be at that wedding, so probably won't be streaming tomorrow. But the next day we will. We'll be doing a regular stream on Sunday, as well as a patron-only stream. Thank you, everyone, for the support. One more day of costume month, and then I'm back to regular clothes until we get the next costume month goal. So have a great night, everyone. I'll see you soon. And have a good weekend. Bye-bye.